What's up, YouTube? Skylar Fiction here. Welcome to the Skylar Fiction Show. And tonight, I got a very, very special conversation for you. Let's see if this audio works first before we get too far. Oh, it works wonderful. So that is absolutely fantastic. We are still waiting on Deload the Pilot Man. I forgot what the AKA, what his other name is, fucking Flight Man bitch or something. I don't remember. It was something fucking weird. But he's fucking late. I'm messaging him over and over again. And originally, a couple minutes ago, he said he was almost in and he was having some technical difficulties. But I've sent a direct link by email. I've sent a link through Hangouts. And yeah, I guess we're just waiting so we can talk about a couple of things that has been happening the last couple of days. So first, if you haven't seen the Dustin Seegers conversation that I had with him on the Bible Thumping Wing Network, go watch it. It's fucking hilarious. And the fact that it takes about, I don't know, 15 minutes for him to run off because he didn't have answers to the questions. It was embarrassing, to be honest with you. This is someone who's a professional apologist and goes around the country, goes to different college campuses. And I just added a couple, just asked him some questions. And it went very, very terrible for him. In fact, he had to run to Tim at one point and be like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to this guy anymore, Tim. And then, of course, Tim lowered my volume and hid me from broadcast. But he didn't kick me. So that's kind of always that's a kind of positive thing there. And then, of course, what else happened here? He also agreed to do a debate with me in February. And then within a couple of hours, after watching the video that I made with the commentary, so people on my channel will be able to watch it if you don't watch the Bible Thumping Wingnut show, he said that he would not want to do that. And he deleted his comment that was originally saying yes on the Bible Thumping Wingnut channel. So really bad. This gentleman... Pilot Man, I guess is what we'll call him. Simple. I happened to find his video by just browsing through the comments on one of G-Man's videos, and it was like heaven. Like you know, it's like one of those videos you find, and it's so gold that like I really don't even have to do much to it. Like I just throw some music underneath it, throw a couple title cards, and we go old school Skylar Fiction like he used to do on his channel, and it was hilarious. And luckily, the guy saw that I had responded to his video, and he made another video response to me. And that was even more nonsense. I don't even know most of his beliefs, to be honest with you. I can't wait for him to get in here. I hope he does. At this point, we're at 9:20. We're 20 minutes late. I had a feeling he might be late. Let's see. He's not responding to my emails anymore. Jesus, man. Come on, dude. So it's a weird channel, first of all. Let me say that. He's got a following. He's at like 16,000 subscribers or something like that, which blew my mind. And he has like, they're into this thing where they're like, it's creative to make up your own language and use words that not the traditional way you would use a word. And a lot of people came to his defense saying, you don't get it. And he's on another dimension. He has some very weird arguments about how when he's arguing with Christians, he tells them that they presuppose that they're on the right earth. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And what I want to do is I want to get G-Man. I want to host Pilot Man, and it even has man in the name. That's fucking hilarious. I didn't even think about that. Pilot Man and G-Man together in the same room and let them debate it out. Astrology versus whatever version of Christianity G-Man argues these days. Pro-slavery Christianity. So that's what I want to do. I think that shit would be fantastic. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. What do we got here in the comments? Someone asking, is a flat earth in denial? Oh, people. Oh, I thought that was actually Steve. Someone was saying I'm a shill for NASA. That's hilarious. I was like, oh, it's just Steve. So do we have a flat earther in the audience here making comments? It doesn't matter. You flat earthers, man, you guys are on a whole nother. Oh, look, Flight Boss is here. What's up, man? I
Oh,
can
okay,
hear
okay.
you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Now,
Yeah, that's much better, bro. How you doing tonight?
what about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Man, you got the whole gear on, dude. You got a shirt, you got a hat with Flight Boss. Is that what you go by? What should I
What's
call you
into
tonight?
it? Uh, Dolo.
Dolo. All right, Dolo. I was just talking to my audience a little bit about you and your channel. But since you're here, I would rather you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about you, what you believe, give them your channel name, and afterwards, what we'll do is we'll get this dialogue going. I'll let you ask me a question, but go for it, my friend. Please introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Dolo the Pilot Man. I've been on the internet for a little bit of time now, developing a little following. Um, Everything in a nutshell, I guess, is based upon astrology. And yeah, before we even go any further or anything like that, I'm gonna just leave it there. I mean, I guess we don't have to get into anything serious yet. But for the most part, yeah, my astrology, and I'm here to fight. And that a lot of people may look at astrology as like it's like it's child's play or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually necessary in all worldviews.
All right. Well, I guess I don't want to, I'm going to be fair. So I told you I would let you ask the first question if you're interested in doing that. Do you have a question for me?
Well, hold on. Is this titled in any kind of way? Because
No, I just put
we
a
can have
conversation with D-Load the Pilot Man, your YouTube name on your channel.
My basic argument was you have to presuppose astrology to even know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And to get into why I think you are a Christian in denial, we can actually get into that also.
Oh, absolutely. We can get into all those things, man. I just usually like to have the guests. Yeah. Go ahead.
My argument. Like you may have a lot of religious people that you see go as far as saying that they have to presuppose. But I don't stop there. As far as atheists and whatever other title someone got, they also have to presuppose astrology. If
Sure.
you're gonna raise the fact that astronomy also has to presuppose astrology to even be astronomy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a back against the wall type of issue going on right now. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say.
All right. So why don't you tell me why? Well, what do you mean by astrology? I guess I should ask that first.
The definition that they have for astrology. That's what I mean by the
okay. I'll read it out for you.
Or the celestial bodies.
A what?
The study of the movement and the relating positions of celestial bodies interpret as having an influence on human affairs in the world.
Okay, excellent. And how and what do you mean by presuppose?
You have to presuppose that outlook for the state any claim.
So I guess I need to ask you again because you just used presuppose in the definition of presuppose. So how do you define presuppose?
Suppose
yeah.
Presuppose is to condition to you already agreed to a precondition, basically, like agreeing to a precondition of something.
Precondition of something.
In a nutshell.
All right. Let's see here. So I have presuppose, suppose is tactfully assumed in the beginning of a line of argument or course of action that is something that is the case. So how do I or does anybody presuppose astronomy if we already assume that astronomy is the case? Or I shouldn't say astronomy, astrology. You're kind of breaking up, man. I don't know. There's something. Your feed's a little kind of.
Oh, let me exit out my emails.
Huh? You may want to take off your video. It's a little better. I'll let you know, but it's been kind of breaking up. So the definition of presuppose and I'll give it to you, is to tactically assume at the beginning of a line of argument or course of action that something is the case. Now, you say that everyone presupposes astrology before they do anything else. How does one, from the beginning, believe that astrology is the case?
Definition, the proper definition of presuppose apply to any kind of way we're talking about it. It applies to any. You have a precondition. So what'd you say?
I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're going at here.
Asking me to define presupposing.
Yeah, I gave you the dictionary definition of presuppose. So you're using it in a different way than dictionary.
It basically mean the same thing I'm saying.
Okay. So well, let me just get into this. How do I presuppose astrology?
How do you presuppose astrology? You go outside and look at
I would go off of, you're really breaking up, man. Try to refresh and come back in the room.
All right.
Yeah, try to refresh real quick. I just want it to be a clear dialogue that everybody can hear you.
What about now?
It's getting a little better. All right. So how does one, or how do I presuppose astrology?
By going outside and look at the moon, or look at the sun, or look at the stars.
Okay, so looking at the sun, moon, and stars presupposes astrology. The study.
You have to presuppose astrology.
You keep that's this. Well, I don't. That's what you're saying, but I'm trying to understand what you actually mean by that.
You can go to the definition. I mean by it.
You just said that by going outside and looking at the stars, the moon.
Okay, what is the definition
presupposing astrology?
What is the definition?
The study of the movement of the study of the movements and relative positions of celestial bodies, interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world.
So when you go outside and it's nighttime, that means the sun is down. It's daytime, that means the sun is up.
I'm not studying the stars just by looking at them.
I'm studying. If you want to know if it's night or daytime, you have to study the sun.
I'm not sure. Once again, you're not explaining how that's presupposing. How do I presuppose astrology before anything else?
I think you missed the art. I think you missed the argument is you have to presuppose astrology to state any claim that you're stating. You have to presuppose astrology. Now, what is astrology? Based upon the celestial bodies, the stars. So, if you have to presuppose astrology, you need to
keep saying, but you're not demonstrating. You just keep asserting.
You're probably not speaking from this world. Then, what world are you getting your ideas from?
What world are you talking about?
The planet we on.
So how would I'm referring to our world, so I don't know what world do you think I'm referring to?
So you're referring to the planet we on?
Yeah, why would I not be referring to the planet that I'm on?
So you have to agree to the terms and conditions that you are presupposing astrology.
What terms and conditions are you just pulling that term out of your ass, these terms and conditions? Like, what are you referring to, terms and conditions?
Check this out. You're presupposing you're on a planet to even make that claim that you're making.
No, I'm not presupposing that I'm on a planet. I know that I'm on a planet based on evidence. That's
right, and what is that?
I don't have to assume that I'm on a planet. I can pretty much
but where
evidence and see that I'm on a planet.
You missed the argument there.
You're saying that I missed the argument isn't an argument. I'm sorry, you can't just keep saying I missed the argument. You're just kind of like rambling, incoherent.
Okay, let's go back over it. What's astrology?
You tell me what astrology is. Go ahead.
Okay, the definition of astrology: the study of the movement and relating positions of celestial bodies, interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. So, stating right now, you are presupposing astrology.
Okay, that's your claim. I like that you're making claims and assertions, but that doesn't get us anywhere.
Refute the claim.
I'm not gonna. No, it's your job, the one who made the claim, to demonstrate it. This is switching the burden of proof.
If you go outside and look at the moon, or if you go outside and see the sun, use astrology.
That's not the definition of. No, it's not. You're making up definitions now at this point.
Okay, what's the definition of astrology? The study of movement and relating positions of celestial bodies interpret. Are we on a celestial body right now?
Yeah, we're on the planet Earth. Yeah.
Is the sun a celestial body?
What do you mean by celestial body? How are you using that term?
Something that's outside of Earth.
Sure. It's outside of Earth.
So you're presupposing astrology.
It's not presupposing astrology. You can't. You just saying that doesn't make it the case. Listen, I'm gonna do the same thing you're doing to me. I'm gonna do the same thing you're doing to me. You just hold on, dude. I'm gonna do the same thing you're doing to me.
Right.
Aliens created you.
What'd you say?
Aliens created you.
Where did you get that from? State that claim.
You have to presuppose.
What world did you get that from?
This world. You have to presuppose aliens create you in order to believe that
this world, this planet.
Do you believe in other planets with life?
Well, we don't have to get into that because first you have to state your claim that you're talking about this planet that aliens is on.
What are you talking about? Do you believe? We don't have to do any of that.
You created me, right? You just said an alien created me, right?
I'm showing you what you're doing and how much nonsense it is because you're just making a baseless assertion and then saying, "Hey, that's my argument."
You actually.
You're just asserting that we presuppose astrology. That's it.
But you haven't refuted how you.
No, I don't have to. It's not my job when you make a claim to demonstrate your claim. That's called burden shifting.
But I gave you proof.
You don't have. You don't. All you do is you keep just repeating it. You're like, well, you go look outside the stars and the moon. Therefore, we presuppose astrology.
The same way religious people have no proof of God. Okay, I gave you proof of astrology.
What? Well, yeah, religious people don't. Yeah. In a way, a lot of way, you kind of did because that's exactly religious people just make blanket assertions that can't be backed up with evidence or logic. You just did. So tell you what. Well, what do you believe about this astrology? Tell me a little bit about it. Do you believe in a God?
We don't have to get into that because you still have to presuppose astrology before we even get into that.
I mean, earlier today you said that I am a Christian in denial. I don't accept your assertion. Okay. I'm going to clearly tell you that right now.
Well, wait a minute.
Move on.
Well, are you presupposing astrology before we talk about a God or anything?
No, you've given me no reason to believe that I'm presupposing astrology, and I'm not going to accept your blanket, non-evidential assertion.
Because you can't refute it.
That's not how that works. When people make claims, it isn't up to somebody to refute a claim. It's up to you to defend your claim and actually prove
it. And I told you that the Christian God exists, an obligation to prove to you that the Christian God exists, right?
Correct. In the same way, you have an obligation to demonstrate that we presuppose astrology. And simply saying by going outside and looking at stars and moons isn't a demonstration of that.
Because I'm pointing to a celestial body. And if astrology is about a celestial body, then I prove my claim.
Okay. If you feel that's what you did, if that's what you feel you did, I don't know where you're going with it. I just disagree with you.
See, but you don't have no choice but to disagree because your worldview allows you to disagree because you have nothing to stand on anyway to state any claim.
And you once again throw out another baseless assertion.
Refute it. Refute the assertion.
I'm not going to refute your assertion, your claim. Your job to actually demonstrate it.
Well, here's another assertion. I don't need your worldview to know anything, but I'm telling you, you need my worldview to know anything. Refute it.
Okay, repeat that again for the audience. Say that again.
Whatever your worldview is, it doesn't have a background to it or anything. It doesn't have a foundation.
What is my worldview?
Atheist?
Are you an atheist?
No.
Are you an atheist? Are you an atheist?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No, I'm not an atheist.
What God do you believe in?
With God, I believe in a God. I don't believe in a specific God.
Okay, so more deistic kind of type of God, or what? Does it interact with the world? What kind of God is it?
I don't even give it a title or a name.
You don't even give it a title or a name. Okay, well, tell me some of the attributes of it.
You can't even ask me any questions or state any claims.
No, I'm saying, why can't I can ask you questions? I'm opening my mouth, words are coming out, and I'm asking you questions. So can you?
But see, that's the thing. Any answer I give you, you still presuppose in astrology.
Like I said,
because you presupposing that we're on this planet.
You can make that basic
presupposing we're on this planet.
I'm not presupposing. That's not what the word presuppose means. I'm going to give you the word presuppose again. To tactfully assume at the beginning of a line of argument or course of action that something is the case. I don't have to assume that we're on the planet from the beginning. I know that we're on the planet based on evidence. That's not an assumption.
On the planet.
Huh?
So, okay, you still borrowing from astrology.
It's not. Astrology is just the study of the celestial body. Well, let's read it again. Astrology, the study of movements and relative positions of celestial bodies, interpreted as having influence on the human affairs on the natural world. Now, all you need to do is demonstrate that the celestial bodies have an influence on human affairs. I mean, besides, I guess, just on a physical thing, like, if a meteor hit the planet.
Okay. Influence is the capacity to have an effect, development, or behavior of someone or something. So if it's very hot outside and you want to go in the house because it's too hot outside, then that's an influence by definition.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. This is pretty much Captain Obvious right here. Okay. Yeah. And if a meteor were to crash into my house would be destroyed. No shit. Where are you going with this?
Because it's hot outside because of the sun, right?
I know. I get no shit, Sherlock. I understand. In the same sense of a meteor hitting my house, it would destroy my house. What's your point?
Knowledge of the celestial bodies. So you have to presuppose astrology to state any claim. You can't get out of it.
That's just one aspect. First of all, that's just one aspect of things that we study and understand. We understand. We study physics. We study different sciences. We study philosophy. We study lots of things, and you're just picking astrology as if it's something special compared to everything else.
But they have
as if that's got to be the first thing you got to assume. You would assume you exist first. You could be logical.
But they have to agree to the terms and conditions that they're referring to things on this planet.
I really just don't understand what your point is. Like, where are you going with all this? Like, what's your overall point?
You don't understand my point.
I know, because you're incoherent. You ramble. You make up your own words and language like you did in your own channel.
This is my point. Simple and plain.
Okay.
Any claim without presupposing astrology. That's it.
Okay. I'm gonna just agree with you just to move on, because I don't really know what the point of all this is. Why you're discussing this?
Refute it.
Huh?
Because it don't go with any of your worldviews. But yeah, we can move on.
Why wouldn't astronomy go with any of my worldviews? I believe in astronomy, the study of the planets, or let me give the exact definition. Astronomy, the branch of science that deals with celestial objects, space, and physical universe. But you're not using the thing about astrology. You're not using astrology in the sense of just, hey, the sun gives you heat, or the meteor.
I'm using your planet.
Hold on. You're using astrology in a term of some kind of weird spiritual sense. If you want to be honest with the audience, it's not. That's not
that aspect,
because it's like this new age bullshit astrology.
Based upon what I'm teaching, so you realize that from what I'm teaching, but you can't even get into that. You're presupposing astrology, and we don't have to get into the beliefs behind it.
We don't have to get into
the.
Sounds like you're afraid to get in your beliefs.
No, we can, but you still would have to agree to the terms and conditions that you're presupposing astrology to begin with.
I'll do it for the sake of argument, just so we can actually get into what you believe here.
Sure.
I have to. Let's get into the actual things you believe here.
All right.
I'm happy to do that, just to get into what you actually believe.
Wait,
what you're talking about is
I believe in astrology. I believe in astrology.
Okay, and lay that out a little bit more. I know you're not meaning just the idea that the sun gives us heat and that a meteor could hit us and destroy the house. What else do you mean?
Okay, by the definition, the study of the movements and relating positions of celestial bodies, interpreted as having an influence.
So that's all you just simply believe that. That's all you believe. It's just you're just talking about how the movements of the stars and things work.
what I believe. It's about, can you refute the argument? Can you claim a statement without presupposing astrology? Without presupposing astrology.
I thought we were going to move on to your actual beliefs, and now you're trying to go back to this argument again.
You're trying to move on to my beliefs because you have nothing to stand on. And even if we was to get into my beliefs, you still have nothing to stand on to go against my beliefs. You don't have nothing to stand on to even claim against my beliefs.
Sure. This is coming from the guy whose #1 video is a song about him taking his dick out and having a girl suck it, basically.
That has nothing to do with you refute.
I'm just saying, like, you're acting.
And then okay,
you're so deep and you understand everything. I don't know anything. Huh?
Well, let's move on because you haven't refuted it. So let's move on to why you a Christian God in denial.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, please tell me why I'm a Christian.
You are a Christian God in denial because in a unique way you are looking for the Christian God.
Oh, right? That's a nice assertion. I'm actually trying. Actually, I'll tell you the reason I actually do it. Let me actually explain it to you. The reason I have conversations with a lot of these Christians is try to open their minds a little bit more, and for them to understand how irrational the belief structure is. So that way they might free them from this burden that they felt.
How are you going? So are you a Christian?
No.
On earth are you going to tell a Christian how to be a Christian or anything about a Christian?
It's not about telling them how to be a Christian. It's telling them why their religion is contradictory.
Well, here's the thing. In your worldview, you have no right to give anybody any example. You can't give a Christian any exampons on what it is to be a Christian or not be a Christian.
Why is that again?
Unless you were a Christian.
I was a Christian at one point in my life.
Listen, well, a Christian will even tell you, if you want to find the Christian God, you have to come through Christ.
Well, there is no Christian God. That's the problem.
Okay, but since that don't satisfy you, then you're taking your own subconscious and coming up with something to refute the Christian God. So you are a Christian in denial because you are in search for the Christian God. But since you're not satisfied with any other theologies that come with Christianity, then you still repeatedly find yourself to argue against it. So either you are a Christian trying to refute being a Christian, or whatever you're doing is purposeless.
Do you do a lot of drugs, man? Do you like you can't seem to keep coherent thoughts?
Has to do with anything. What does that have to do with refuting anything?
Well, because usually people who like do a lot of drugs, like hardcore drugs, like their mind gets kind of scattered, and it's hard for them to kind of keep kind of on. Like you're saying weird shit. Like basically because I argue with Christians, therefore I can't. And I'm not talking about just weed or something. Fuck, if you want to smoke weed all you want. But like the thing is like you're basically telling me that because I argue with Christians, therefore I'm a Christian in denial.
Huh? If I'm not a basketball player, I have no business telling a basketball player how didn't exist or how to play basketball.
Oh, so coaches who don't play basketball have no business telling their players how to play basketball.
They're in the basketball worldview.
Oh, but you just changed what you said. You said that if I'm not a basketball player, then I wouldn't be able to tell basketball players how to play basketball. But coaches don't necessarily play basketball, but they tell their players how to play basketball.
Actually, coaches are playing basketball. They create the plays for the basketball players to carry out.
They're not actually physically playing basketball. They're coaching the team. Either way, your analogy is still awful. Just to be able to study and understand. Do you study Christianity? Do you have any understanding of Christianity, how it works?
Much understanding of it as I need to understand about it. I don't have to dive into all the verses like you do.
Yeah, I mean, I've read it a couple times. I've actually studied it. Yeah, I have some information on it, and I'm able to actually educate Christians who don't even bother to read the book themselves. Yeah,
I don't need the Christian God to know anything. It's not a necessary need for me to know anything about the Christian God.
I didn't say you did. I don't think you need your astrology either to know anything. You just basically asserted it.
How's that? So you're presupposing astrology to say that?
You're just picking something random. Like you're just like, well, you have to have astrology to know anything. Like,
it's not random because everything I'm talking about the planet.
Hold on. You have to have pizza to know anything.
So it's not random
refute it.
Everything
that's the kind of argument
about
you're making.
Well, give me something else that talks about the planets and the stars. Besides astrology.
Well, of course, because that's what it is. You're just arbitrarily.
So that's my point.
You're just arbitrarily choosing that in order to know anything, you have to know astrology.
My point.
Why? Why do I have to know astrology to know anything? Explain that to me.
Why do you have to know anything?
Why in order for me to know something do I have to know astrology, or do I have to presuppose astrology?
You have to presuppose that you're on the planet, and you have to presuppose that you're talking about any claim under the sun that you're under. Whatever you're talking has something to do with the sun we're under. If you got some other world that doesn't call stars and planets, okay, then I can listen to what you're saying. Otherwise, I don't have to agree to anything that you're saying as fact.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I believe we're on the planet. I believe that there are stars and there's a sun and there's other planets. So I believe that we are.
You're agreeing to the terms and conditions. If that
makes you feel better, just for me to say yes, I'm agreeing to the terms and conditions. That's fine. But I'm telling you what I believe. I believe I'm on a planet, and I believe there's stars and other planets and galaxies and everything else like that.
Well, I win. I win the argument.
Okay, if that's what makes you think you want the argument.
See, this what you fail to understand. The video that you posted of mine was actually towards it. I just reframed it towards no theology. Don't have no backing to support any claim that you're saying, but mine do. The fact that I'm picking astrology, or I'm picking mathematics, or I'm picking science. Religious people say you're picking science every day. So that's not the matter of the fact. The matter of the fact is, look at the astrology definition. You have to presuppose astrology to state any claim. It's a silly argument. But at the end of the day, it's more effective than any religious person you came across, or any kind of argument you ever had, because your arguments is purposeless. The same way that you don't even have a refute or a leg to stand on for any kind of legitimate argument. So it's like you're just in a land of purposeless right now.
All you're doing is just saying you have to. All you're doing is just saying you have to presuppose that you're on a planet Earth.
Well, this is my purpose of this hangout right here. My purpose hangout is telling you need astrology. My purpose is telling you need astrology. What is your purpose?
You sound like a broken Christian. You sound like a Christian. Like, you need God. You need God. That's
but I'm not a Christian.
I know you're some whacked out kind of New Age believer, basically.
It's whacked out, but you haven't refuted it.
There's nothing to refute. You haven't provided anything. You've given me a definition of astrology and then told me I have to presuppose it. And then basically all you're arguing is that you just have to say that you're on planet Earth and you believe in stars and how stars and the sun have some kind of effect on you.
Here's the thing.
It's like something obvious. No shit, we have to admit that we're on planet Earth.
I'm not arguing. What I'm proving is you don't have an argument against me.
There's no. You're just stating. All you're doing is just stating things. Like it'd be like, I ate pizza tonight and I have a cup of water here and I'm wearing a red and a black sweater.
So
and I'm wearing a hat. And yeah, and then you can't refute that. You can't refute that argument. It's not an argument. You're just saying things. You're just like, hey, there's these stars and you have to do this. Like, I don't know.
So okay, what is your purpose?
Premise one. Let's actually formulate this into an argument. Premise one. Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
What's premise one of an argument? You have an argument, and I want to hear the argument. What is premise one?
Premise one, you have to presuppose astrology to state any claim.
Okay, hold on. You have to, I'm going to write down, you have to presuppose astrology.
Photographic picture, all that.
Any claim. Okay, what's premise two?
What you mean is premise two? That's the only premise I need.
There's usually an argument consists of two premises and a conclusion. It could have more premises, but that's traditionally it. Because basically you have an assertion. That's what that, if you don't have anything to back up your original premise, you just have an assertion.
Okay, everybody have assertions, but you can't back up your assertion. I can't.
Well, back up my assertion about what? What do you want me to back up?
Okay.
I'm wearing a hat.
Like I said, what was your
That's my assertion. Can I back up that assertion? Huh?
Okay, now you getting in the land of not making any sense now. If that's the case,
I've finally joined you in your wonderful magical land.
Okay, well, tell me your point of posting my video if you ain't refuting any of it.
Yeah, it's for entertainment. I thought you were really funny, and you said a lot of crazy shit, and you remind me of G-Man, but like the astrology version or version of G-Man. That's why I posted it.
but I'm nothing like G-Man.
You're just like G-Man. That's the irony, and you don't get it. Like you make the same shitty arguments, and you make up words. You don't understand language. That's why you're like G-Man. You say really dumb things.
Refute something I said then.
It's not.
You're not refuting anything.
It's like I'm not going to refute someone who's mentally handicapped, dude.
You can refute G-Man about the Christian. You still haven't refuted anything I said. So you can compare me to what you're talking about.
With the Christian God, I actually have stuff I can talk about. You're just basically saying that you have to presuppose astrology. That's it.
Astrology is about astrology is about the celestial bodies. So I study the celestial bodies, and I teach about this. And I teach about the celestial bodies.
Where do you teach?
What you want to do is get into my beliefs, though. What you want to do is get into my beliefs about what I'm actually teaching.
And you're totally afraid to do it, though. You're so afraid to actually talk about what you believe. You're so afraid to do it. It's so blatantly obvious that, like, when some Christians do the same thing, whenever Christians don't want to talk about a subject, they filibuster, and they'll try to get on one point, even though I said we can move on.
Why are we talking about
Because we brought up because you're very much like a Christian in the same way. You're doing the same kind of argumentation a Christian does. You're using a presuppositional argument just like Christians do. You're talking like a Christian. You can't put out logical premises and arguments at all. So in the same way G-Man is, you are in the same way. And you got your audience fucking brainwashed, sadly.
Refute astrology the same way you refute G-Man's Christian God then.
Oh, no. I go into the Bible and point out actually evidence and facts, and we go into the stories. With you, there's nothing I can do because all you do is have a blank assertion.
What is astrology? It's the study of the stars and planets.
I know. I understand what astrology is, but just saying you have to presuppose it doesn't mean anything.
Why doesn't it?
Because it just doesn't.
What world did you
like me saying my car is red? It's
planet does that exist?
My car is red. Refute it.
On what planet does that exist?
Refute it.
On what planet does that exist?
I like cake. Refute it. I'm drinking
what
a cup of water. Refute it. Like, I mean, what the fuck do you want me to do with that, dude?
Okay, what planet does your cup of water exist on?
If you have to ask that question, you probably should get some mental health evaluations.
Well, hold on. It's a planet. This planet, right?
Yeah. You think we live on a different planet?
Okay, so what is astrology?
It's not. It's the study. It doesn't just mean that I live, like me saying I live on a planet isn't the study of something. Do I need to look up the word study for you? Can we let's look at the word study definition, and let's see if you're using it in the proper context.
I study astrology.
Study definition. Let's just look. Let's see if it works the same way. Right. Let's see here. The devotion of time and attention to acquiring knowledge on an academic subject, especially by means of books.
Study meaning.
That doesn't seem to fall into what you're describing as study. So me saying that I'm on the planet Earth equals study to you.
Right now.
Where are you looking at? What's your? I'm on dictionary.com. What's your source?
Oh, well, me too.
Are you on dictionary? Good, perfect. You should see the same thing.
The devotion of time and attention.
I just read that. Yes.
Time and attention to acquire knowledge on an academic subject, especially by means of books.
Now, so there's and looking at the sun and the stars is not an academic study. It's not an academic study.
Here. Okay, hold on. Study to devote the devotion of time and attention to acquiring knowledge. Now, if I devote some time to study,
finish the sentence. Don't leave off the back end of that sentence and pretend like you're going to be a little shifty here.
The devotion of time and attention to acquire knowledge on the.
That's still not the same.
If I'm devoting my time and attention in acquiring knowledge about the star,
I'm not acquiring knowledge. I already had the knowledge. I already know that there's stars. I already know that I'm living on planet Earth. I'm not acquiring knowledge by taking a walk outside in the middle of the night.
Presuppose astrology then. If you are, like I said, already know.
Whatever it takes to get us to move on, I'm willing to do it. Your nonsense is going nowhere with me.
Thing you want to call it nonsense, but at the same time, claim, and you will rush to the fact, you will rush to refute anybody else's claim. Not. I don't get it. Why you ain't in a rush to refute me saying really you need astrology to know anything?
I don't even know what all that means. Are you just meaning that I need to know that I'm on planet? If all you're saying is that I need to know that I'm on planet Earth to be able to know anything, well done, Captain Obvious. If you want to call it a win, dude, that's the most obvious fucking. Yeah, of course I gotta believe I'm on planet Earth. Like that argument is the most silly thing. It's like me being like, "Hey,
how's it silly? Because it's not complicated.
Drink water in order to survive." Oh,
how's it silly? Because it's not complicated.
To survive, okay, I win. It's so fucking stupid. How do you have viewers on your channel, man? Why do people watch you?
What you don't understand is the water you're talking about is on this planet.
No, I don't understand that the water is on this planet. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying you don't understand. I'm saying you do understand it.
Huh?
I'm saying you understand that the water you're talking about is on this planet, represented from this planet.
Obvious. Okay, now I understand your point now, which is irrelevant and pointless. I can't even believe you wasted fucking 40 minutes on this. 30 minutes we've been talking.
No, you wasted 40 minutes not understanding it.
It's not. It's such a dumb point. Like you're just saying you have to know you're on planet Earth to know anything. Well, yeah. No, that's not even true. You know what? That's not even true. You don't need to know you're on planet Earth to know anything.
You don't?
No, there's other things you can know, because if somebody were to take me, let's say hypothetically, they were to take me in the middle of the night, move me onto another planet somehow, let's say aliens somehow came and kidnapped me, put me on another planet. I didn't know where I was. I was just saying, hold on, dickbed, let me fucking finish my sentence. All right. So then they were to move me on another planet. All right. I could still know things without knowing what planet I'm on.
So that don't make sense. You're presupposing that you moved to another planet.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you a hypothetical. You're claiming that I have to know I'm on Earth to know something. Do babies know?
Hypothetical
Does a 2-year-old that's never heard of Earth know that they're on Earth?
They're going to know that they are.
A 2-year-old would know that they're on the planet Earth.
I said no, but they're going to know that they are.
No, yeah,
they don't need. Wait a minute. They don't need.
They know one day, sure, but they don't know at 2 years old. But they do know other things. They know not to. They know not to do things you tell them not to do. They know when they pooped in their pants and I have to change a diaper because I know that because my daughter tells me. I got a 2-year-old, but she doesn't know that we're on planet Earth. Your argument now we can really get into this because now I'm seeing how shitty. I should have known this before, how shitty your argument was. So basically, there are people who know things that don't know they're on planet Earth.
But they're on a planet.
There are people who don't know about stars that know things.
What did you say?
There are people who don't know that there are stars that know things.
They're on a planet.
Anything? Huh? They don't know they're on a planet. They may not even know what a planet is at that age. A 4-year-old may not even know what a planet is. They haven't been taught. But they know other things. Your argument's kind of going out the window now. This is really, you know what, I'm just fucking refuting your argument, what you've been asking for.
You don't have to be taught about a sun to see that the sun is there.
No, what if they've never seen the sun?
It's impossible.
Oh, it's what? So a blind person?
They feel heat from the sun.
Well, they don't. What if they just feel heat? They don't necessarily know. Until somebody teaches them. But at that point, when somebody has taught them, they already have knowledge of other things. Because you have to know. In fact, you have to understand words. You have to know words before you would know. Somebody could tell you about the sun. No. Man, you're just falling through the fucking floor.
I don't have to know words to know that the sun influence on my skin. I don't have to know words to know that the sun is influencing.
Was the sun? Because you're blind. And if nobody told you, right? And that's the point. Is there can be people who don't know that they're on a planet. They can not know about the sun, the moon, and the stars.
The sun is a celestial body or not? Is the sun a celestial body or not?
Now you're changing it away. You're moving away from the argument.
You're changing the scope. Is the sun a celestial body or not?
The way you define it,
regardless of being
separate from Earth, yes.
regardless if a child knew that the sun, was it a sun, or was it called the sun, or it was called
may have
Apollo,
never
or
seen
something else?
They may have never seen it. They
So
may have had parents that wouldn't let them go outside.
did their parents see the celestial body?
What's it matter? At that point, they already know other things, and they didn't have to know there was a sun or that they were on Earth. Your very argument that you were making.
No, you're going somewhere else.
Now, I use what your argument was.
Say yes.
No, let's say their parents didn't. They were blind too, and they were never taught about it.
But do they get affected by the heat when they go outside?
It doesn't matter. They wouldn't know that that was from the sun. They just feel heat. It could be from a fire for all they know. It could be from a stove for all they know.
It don't matter if they know it's from the sun or not. We know for a fact that it is.
Who are you speaking for? You? Lots of people do.
You know,
it doesn't necessarily mean that those people. Like I said, your whole argument's refuted at this point. It's done.
Isn't
how? You already said you have to know about the celestial body first before you can know anything else. And I'm telling you,
all you're doing is presupposing celestial bodies for me.
A 2-year-old baby knows things without having to know about the sun, the moon, and the stars. They know it.
That doesn't even make sense. You have
a baby knows it wants milk. When you're born out of the within weeks of being born out of the womb, you already have wants of things. You know what pain is at that point. You have knowledge of pain before you'll have awareness of anything else.
And what planet did that pain take place on? So
in
some way, shape, or form.
Your point is that they need to know this information first ahead of time. Simply saying that, like, does it take place on Earth?
No,
Captain fucking obvious again. You're Captain Obvious again. Yes, we're on planet Earth. If you need me to fucking explain it to you that we're on this planet, you need to get mental help.
Wait a minute. What? You just said, shape or form, that child is going to learn that they're on a planet. Of how young they are.
They know things beforehand.
They don't even know if they're drinking milk or anything. They don't even know if that's milk. So
at what age are you talking about? At 2 years old? Because I have a 2-year-old. Do you have a 2-year-old kid? Do you have any children?
What age are you talking about?
Do you have any children?
Okay, you taught your 8 years old.
You have an 8-year-old. Okay, beautiful. When they were 2, did they know anything?
What I taught them.
What you taught them, okay, yeah. But I'm sure you taught them things before you start talking about the celestial bodies. Like, the first thing you teach a child isn't, hey, let's go outside and look at the stars, moon, and sun. First of all, because they're not going to understand it. They're going to know those words and things like that. You can show them, like, look at this. Doesn't mean they're going to have knowledge of what
here's the thing. I had to presuppose astrology before I told my daughter anything.
You are all over the place, man. You're like here, then you're here. Now I know why you don't want to actually talk. I've already refuted your argument. I'd like to move on now to actually understand some of your points. That's your opinion that I didn't refute it. I'll let the audience decide.
What did you refute?
Your claim that you have to know have to know astronomy or astrology before you know anything else. And I've already demonstrated that children who don't know astrology know things.
Yeah. What do a child know that the parent haven't taught them?
Sure. They know that they shit their pants or their diaper. I didn't have to teach them that. They shit it. They know. They feel it. They know they're hungry without me having to teach them they're hungry. They know they're thirsty without me having to teach they're thirsty. They know that they want love and they want it to be hugged and cuddle before. I didn't have to teach them that.
And what planet or imagination?
I see that you're going back to this weird thing about asking me if we're on a planet again. And if you need me to explain this to you, you need to get mental help.
Know anything?
The kid doesn't even know what they learn about the planets later on. Probably about 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little younger, depending on how smart your kid is.
The point is did you get that information from this planet or a figment of your imagination? A world from a figment of your imagination?
I don't know what your point is. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
The point is, okay, if you got that information from that isn't called a planet or that's not called something else, then okay, you may be right. But I don't have to agree to that because as far as I know, that didn't take place on this planet. Sure. Now, if you want to talk about something that took place on this planet, then you are presupposing astrology to do that. So, that's your claim. So the claim, okay, but your claim was a kid can know that they can know things without astrology. Okay, my claim is for you to even state that claim, you had to presuppose that we're on a planet, a celestial body.
You are literally doing a version of Christian precept. It's much worse because at least a Christian precept is a little bit more interesting. Like you're just replacing God with astrology. You're basically just replacing the word God with astrology in your argument.
Why are you talking about God? I ain't mentioning God.
Because it's exactly what you're doing. Are you not familiar with presuppositional apologetics? You must not be. You know you're doing this right now.
We don't even have to talk about God.
You can't even understand the point I'm making at this point. Like you're so far warped in your head. You don't understand even the point that I'm telling you right now. Do you know what presuppositional apologetics are? Are you familiar with them?
Apologetics.
I didn't ask you if you cared. I asked you if you knew what they were. Okay, you don't. My case is closed there. It's basically so what they do is they say you can't have any knowledge unless you know God. That unless you accept God as the principal cause. Huh?
They had to presuppose astrology to say that.
That's see, and they would say you have to presuppose God in order for you to say that.
No, they can't because I don't need their worldview. They God or whatever like that, but they have to presuppose my worldview.
Okay, that's what you believe. I'm happy to accept your whatever you believe, man. I just simply disagree with you.
I believe, but it's objective also, and that's just your subjective opinion.
You believe that your opinion is objective? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can call it that. You want to argue that?
You understand that's contradictory. An opinion isn't objective.
Well, refute it.
You
have to make an objective statement. Everybody has subjectivity.
I'm not saying that you can't make objective statements. I'm saying that your opinions aren't objective.
Because it's objective. That's why you can't.
I don't know if you can't hear or you have like a learning disability and you can't comprehend what people are saying to you. Like, what is it? Because I know I said something very specific to you, and then you said
you're lost in your own logic. That's what it is.
You don't. What's logic mean? Go ahead. Tell me what definition of logic is.
You tell me what it means.
Huh?
You tell me what it means, since I'm not using logic too.
You said you were using. I don't understand the logic of what you're saying, so I'm asking you what you mean by logic.
I said you're lost in your logic.
Okay, so what do you mean by I'm lost in my logic?
Logic.
You just used the word logic to define logic. That's fantastic. How predictable.
You just said everything, and everything I'm saying is illogical. And is your logic. So you're lost in your logic. So you're telling me to define something that you're using. You just said I wasn't using logic. Define what you're using that I'm not getting.
I don't even know what you're getting at this point, man. I'm kind of lost in your conversation.
Okay, is you using logic? You're using logic?
What do you mean by logic?
You tell me. You
can't ask me a question and then I'm trying to understand what you're trying to ask me, and then you'd be like,
Let's look at the definition then. Let's look at the definition of logic. All right, good. Since you can't, because you're not even using logic either. You said I'm not using logic, but neither is you.
Have you studied any of this stuff on a college level? Have you been to college? Study philosophy? I'm just asking. Have you studied philosophy, study astronomy in college, anything like that?
So whatever you're saying, you're presupposing that you're talking about this planet, right? Right?
This is gold, bro. I got 75 people watching this right now, man.
You can't state any claims of your own worldview, let alone you're trying to dissect my worldview, but you can't even get past presupposing my worldview. Your claims.
It's so funny that you don't even realize you're doing the same thing Christian presuppositionals do. This is the most entertaining thing I've done in a long time. I'm so glad that you came on tonight.
Okay,
I really do appreciate it.
Whatever I'm doing that Christian's doing, did you refute the Christian?
Oh yeah, I definitely did. Because they basically.
Did you refute me?
There's nothing to refute with you. The Christian actually has, I wouldn't say a good argument. They at least have an argument with what they're saying. You just have a claim and then you're asking me to refute
You
it,
arguing
and I'm
there.
not going to do that. You're just saying, you keep asking
None of
what
y'all
planet
make
I
sense.
live on like a
Look,
retard, and like
that's what I'm saying.
I can't help you.
How are you gonna say Christians have a better argument when you're arguing their book? None of y'all make sense. What are you talking about?
I'm using their book to show them the contradictions. Do you understand how contradictions work? Do you understand what the word contradiction means? You know how you can show somebody.
You gave a lot of contradictions tonight. You gave a lot of them.
Like I said, I'll let the audience decide. I'm happy to let the audience decide. I'm hoping some of your viewers watch this and aren't so brainwashed after this.
Wanted to debate something you couldn't refute.
I mean, dude, you're the one saying absurd things. You keep asking whether we're on the planet Earth. You keep saying we have to presuppose astrology. You said that I'm in denial that I believe in, that I'm a Christian, which I don't think you really flushed that out yet either. You just said that basically because I argue with Christians, that makes me a Christian somehow. I don't know. Usually traditionally what it means to be a Christian is you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. But so what for definitions? You got the way your channel runs, you just make up words and language.
We use definitions. Wait a minute. It's an absurd statement that we're on a planet. You said I stated it's an absurd statement.
It's absurd that you have to keep asking if I'm on the planet, and you have to keep asking if we're on the planet. That's the absurdity.
Because I'm proving to you that you have to presuppose astrology.
Okay. If that makes you feel better and that's what you believe, like I said, I'm not going to argue with a fool about it.
So my point is, what are you refuting if you're not refuting that? What is your point of argument? What is your purpose?
I have nothing to refute besides your insanity, and I'm doing that by just letting you speak. Because the more you speak,
how is it insane?
Well, first of all,
how is it insane? You sound insane to me right now.
Huh?
Right now.
I know I sound insane to you right now. But you're kind of all over the place.
You're gonna get ready to tell
honestly,
me.
I'm kind
of speechless.
This is one of the few times I'm actually kind of speechless. I really don't know where to go with you on any of this kind of stuff.
Things could do that. I bet Christians wish they could do that too, but they can't. I could.
Yeah, I know in your head you think that you make good arguments and that you're doing a good job here, but everybody else is laughing at you. Go to the comment section of the video. Go look at the people, what they're saying. There's no positive comments about you.
It don't make any sense.
What you're saying at all.
Supposing that we're on this planet talking about to even talk about what they're claiming.
You understand? You don't presuppose you're on the planet. That's just not how it works.
Or not.
That doesn't follow the definition of presuppose. It just doesn't. I'm going to read it again for you. Somehow you haven't gotten this yet. Presuppose, to tactically assume at the beginning of a line of an argument. First of all, saying I'm on the planet Earth isn't an argument. All right? That's the first thing.
What I'm saying is you have to already know that you're on a planet.
But that's not presuppose. That's not the word presuppose. That's not what presuppose means.
You're presupposing you're on a planet. You're knowing already you're on a planet.
That isn't that. No, by saying I live on a planet, you're presupposing it. Sorry, that's not how this works. Me saying I live on planet Earth does not mean I'm presupposing I'm on planet Earth.
What? That don't even make sense.
Yeah, I'll read the definition again since you can't keep up. Presuppose, to tactically assume at the beginning of a line of argument or course of action that something is the case. I don't presuppose I'm on Earth. It's based on evidence. I believe I'm on Earth based on evidence. I don't have to assume it.
Get that evidence from? Where did you get that evidence from?
It doesn't matter where I got that evidence from. But if I'm getting evidence, it means that I'm not assuming it. It means I'm taking in evidence and I'm coming to a conclusion.
Where did you get that conclusion from?
From evidence.
Get that evidence from?
Experience, testing, right? Scientific theory.
What was the scientific theory testing?
Reality.
Yeah, what reality are you talking about?
You don't know? You don't know what reality I'm talking about? You know what planet we're talking about? Do I need to remind you what planet we're talking about? Do I need to do that too? How many times do I have to tell you that I'm living on planet Earth?
You lost. You lost. Because I'm saying this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Planet.
You think? Wait a minute. You think that you're saying this planet? You're talking about another planet?
Planet. You must be talking about another planet.
Why are you so afraid to talk about your beliefs? Why are you so afraid to tell me what you believe?
Why?
Why? Tell me why. Why
can't
do
you
you have to?
repeat
Why are you going to keep doing this? I already told you, for the sake of argument, I'll agree with you. I already told you, for the sake of argument, I'll agree with you. All right, I already said, for the sake of argument.
Did I just tell you I believe in astrology?
Listen, I know, but I'm
Did I
trying to
just tell
get
you I believe in
deeper. I'm
astrology?
trying to get deeper because I know you don't just believe in the sense of
For
astrology,
what?
what we're talking about. What else do you believe?
So what do you believe in?
Your people are talking about different dimensions and shit on your channel.
So what?
So I want to know,
So what?
do you believe in some kind of spiritual realm? Let me ask you that directly.
What point? What does this matter?
Because I'm just curious and interested. The audience wants to hear.
Because if astrology teaches about the celestial bodies, then that's as far as we need to go in this conversation. Until you disprove
You're such a coward, man. You're so afraid, bro. What's up, man? Big man. I thought you had some balls on you. I mean, you'll make a video where you smoke a blunt and try to pull out your dick and sing a song about suck my dick women on YouTube, but you're not willing to talk about this spiritual, like this spiritual kind of shit.
You can go on my listen. You can go on my channel to see what I teach.
I know, but you're too afraid to talk about it here because you know I'll rip that shit to shreds. You know it.
But no,
I will
rip that's my point.
To shreds, and you're too afraid to talk about any of your beliefs because the only way you feel comfortable doing it is if you're on your channel and there's no one to argue with you. You know how fucking.
Well, okay, refute astrology then.
Being a little bitch and fucking talk about what you believe. What's wrong, man? Why are you so afraid to just talk about what you believe?
Believe astrology.
You are just like a Christian. You're too afraid to actually get and actually talk about what you believe because you know you're going to get refuted.
Listen,
you're a one-trick pony. I've already refuted you. Oh, man. Well, listen, you said you would come on here and talk about why I'm a Christian in denial. So why don't we do that? Because at this point, it's fucking boring.
Okay, so you haven't disproved astrology. Okay, so let's get to
whatever you feel makes you feel better. Go ahead.
Exactly. You haven't disproved it. Whatever logic you're trying to come up with, you haven't disproved anything I'm saying.
All right. Why am I
say you are a Christian God in denial because this is your unique way of looking for the Christian God. So you are in search for the Christian God. Denial. Because you're trying to
say that again. Wait, say that again. Say that again. Oh, I didn't hear you. Say that one more time.
You are a Christian. Because this is your unique way of searching for the Christian God. Right? You want somebody to prove the Christian God?
I'm not looking for the Christian God. I'm trying to show people why the concept of the Christian God is hypocritical.
What is your purpose of being into the concept of Christian God? What is your purpose of being into the concept of it?
Yeah, to get people out of bondage and this mental slavery that they are under Christianity.
How do you know somebody's in bondage because they're in Christianity?
Yeah. Do you believe that people should believe in lies?
A lot.
Huh? I'm sorry. Because I'm not a Christian, I can't show them that it's a lie. Is that what your argument is?
Getting into your line of how you getting ready to bring your argument or whatever like that, we're gonna have to come to that conclusion. How do you know that someone is in bondage because they're into Christianity?
Because they're believing a lie. Because they're believing something that isn't true. They believe that God is going to send them hell.
What justification do you have to back that claim?
Basically, no reason. And depending on the brand of Christianity too, like Calvinism, they believe that people are predestined to heaven or hell. So basically, they could believe their whole life that they may go to hell. Huh?
How can you justify that claim?
It's biblical. It's by the Bible. What their belief structure is based on.
By their worldview, right? Yeah, by their worldview. So
it's not really their worldview. Wait a minute. They believe things based on the scripture, but the Bible isn't a worldview. That's where they get some of the text and their beliefs and things like that.
Okay, let's look up the definition of a worldview. Because you don't have one, but at least they have one. So you can't even criticize a religious person, let alone try to criticize me.
So there are people who exist that don't have worldviews. Is that what you're seriously trying to argue? That a human being could have no worldview?
Well, I'm not arguing anything. What I said is you don't have a worldview.
You just contradicted yourself. So
no, I'm saying you don't have a
human being. Exactly, and I'm a human being, right?
Right. You don't have a worldview to justify your claim that someone is being lied to.
Right? And you just said that human beings have worldviews? Do all human beings have a worldview?
You don't have a worldview to state your claim unless it's arbitrary. Whatever you're saying is arbitrary, unless you got a worldview to state your claim.
Arbitrary based on what? On what standard? No. What's the standard that you say that my worldview is arbitrary? What's the standard you're appealing to? No, I'm asking you, what is the standard you're appealing to when you say that my beliefs are arbitrary?
What I'm appealing to.
What is the standard?
What standard? What are you talking about?
You said that something's arbitrary, and in order to declare that something's arbitrary, there has to be a standard to which something can be arbitrary. Exactly. So I'm asking you, what is the standard you're appealing to? What is the standard?
Anything you say is arbitrary because you don't have a worldview.
Are you fucking stupid? Do you not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? What is the standard that you are appealing to when you call my views arbitrary? What standard are you appealing to?
My subjective opinion.
There's no such thing as an objective opinion.
I said subjective opinion.
You know what the word objective means?
Objective opinion.
No, objective means mind independent.
Objective.
Opinions come from minds.
Subjective opinion. Subjective
you're
opinion.
Calling it, oh, you're subjective. Oh, you're just telling me your opinion. Fuck your opinion. I could give a shit what your opinion is. That's not an argument.
But you don't have a worldview to state any claim.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Thank you for your opinion. I appreciate it.
So what is your argument? What is you refuting?
Like I said, I appreciate your opinion that I don't have a worldview, but you have no leg to stand on.
All you're doing is a lot of agreeing.
A lot of agreeing? Is that what you're saying? You really are having some problems following the conversation.
With me, with everything, but you haven't refuted anything.
There's nothing to refute. You're just making baseless assertions and claims.
Okay,
it's not my job to refute baseless assertions and claims. It's your job to demonstrate the claims that you were making. Apparently, you don't know how all this works. You're barely literate.
I demonstrated that you have to presuppose astrology to any state, any claim.
And I refuted your argument by showing you that people can have knowledge. They can have knowledge without presupposing astrology.
On what planet did that take place on? What world in your imagination did that take place on?
So fucking retarded. I'm sorry, people.
I know it's
challenges. If you're watching this show, I shouldn't call him. I shouldn't call him retarded because he's so much worse.
Oh, but listen,
than you guys.
You got to realize what world are you talking about?
Man, you're
talking about this world, right?
You are just so wonderful.
Right?
You are just a gift.
The just statement you just claimed. What world did you get that from? What world did you get that from?
And given to me for my channel. This is, I think, the most amount of people I've ever had watched live. It's probably some of your fans.
What world did you just get that claim from? That you stated?
A little gift with a little bow on top.
Claim from? Because it's not in this world. That claim that you stated from, because it's not this world.
Oh, okay. What world is it?
You tell me. You the one not applying it to a planet.
World. So what world is it from?
It has to be from another world of your imagination. If it's not,
are you a young Earth creationist too? Do you believe the world is only 5,000-6,000 years old? Do you believe that depending on what month you're born, your different signs that will affect your personality and how you're going to be?
I don't believe in nothing you. I don't believe in nothing you're saying, but you most definitely have to believe in astrology to state any claim that you.
I mean, saying. Yeah, that's once again your claim. I don't really care about your baseless claim. Don't. It's funny to me, but I don't care.
You fail to realize you lost.
You can. That's fine. I am happy for you to say that I lost over and over again. It's still entertaining to me.
So, all right. So what are we arguing now? How you a Christian in denial? You want to prove that now?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm even proving. You're the one with a Christian weird definition. You haven't proved that I'm a Christian in denial.
Why are you into Christian books? Why are you into the Christian God concept?
How many times do I have to tell you? Do you not what did I tell you last time? Let's try that.
So you're presupposing things from their worldview.
No.
Right or wrong?
No, I'm not presupposing the worldview.
You're not presupposing. So what are you arguing then? If you're not presupposing something from the Christian worldview, what are you arguing?
That's I don't even know. Now you're arguing a negative. What's going on here?
You tell me.
I don't know what you're even saying. You're so incoherent. I don't even know what you're trying to argue. First, you ask me if I'm presupposing their worldview. I say no. Then you're like,
here's the thing. Christian God in denial. If you're going to tell me you're not a Christian, then I'm going to tell you that it's purposeless.
What's the definition?
If you're not a Christian, then you know more about Christian.
How are you going to tell me that I'm one in denial if you don't even know what the definition of a Christian is?
You talk about. If I want to know something about Christianity,
because that's all I talk about. That's how you're going to tell me. If you don't know the definition.
If I want to know anything about Christianity, I can go to your page. If I want to know anything about Christianity, I can go to your page, regardless of what I'm sitting at a table.
How would you know? But how would you know things about Christianity by going to my page? Because I know things about Christianity.
Because you say things about Christianity, and you agree to the terms and conditions.
Does it mean they're true and you can get knowledge from them?
What?
Does it mean that because you just said that if you wanted to know something about Christianity, you can go to my page. And then I said, well, how would that mean that I have knowledge? You basically said, I asked you, would that mean that I have knowledge about it? And then you said, well, you say things on your page. So are the things I say on my page true?
You don't have knowledge of the Christian?
I do. Of course I have knowledge. I'm trying to get you to admit that I have knowledge of it too.
Well, what's your point?
Do I or do I not have knowledge of Christianity? I'm asking, do I have knowledge of Christianity?
Yes.
Okay, so I have knowledge of Christianity. And that's how I'm able to refute, and that's how I'm able to refute Christians.
You're presupposing things from their worldview in order to refute them.
No, that's not how this works. You don't presuppose things. Let's go back to that definition. For some reason, you don't want to follow it.
How do you even know what a Christian is?
Tactically assume the beginning of the line of argument, of course of action, that something is the case. I'm not assuming that Christianity is the case in order to argue against it. I don't have to assume Christianity. So are you saying that I am assuming that Christianity is the case in order to argue against it? Is that what you're claiming?
Are you arguing a Christian or not?
Okay.
Are you arguing?
Obviously, fucking Captain Obvious, I am arguing with a Christian. Okay? The definition says that I am hold on, motherfucker. Hold on. It says that I am, let's see here. They tactically assume at the beginning of the line of argument of a course of action that something is the case. I am not assuming that Christianity is the case in order to argue with them. You are making nonsense statements. Huh?
Not assume that they were a Christian before you got into their argument. Did you or did you not assume that they were
Christian? Is not arguing against Christianity. What the fuck is wrong with you?
They call themselves Christian.
Yeah, no shit. They call themselves Christians. Do you know? You said you don't.
It's in their worldview.
The reason they call themselves Christians is because they believe that they accept Jesus Christ into their heart.
If you're not a Christian, then you can't call yourself a Christian.
I don't call myself a Christian, dumb fuck.
Okay, my point exactly.
Well, you don't have to assume. The problem is you said presuppose, and presuppose says
presupposing you're talking to a Christian.
No, that's not. So how, when I'm talking to a Christian, do I presuppose that Christianity is the case?
Another name for them? Because I'm pretty sure they know why they call themselves Christians.
You are making some fucking very strange. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna see what stuff the audience wants to say.
You can't get out of it.
I don't know, man. You know, honestly, you've got me. I really don't even know what to say to you, man.
You don't.
So, I mean, and this is going to get me. There's going to be a lot of views on this.
So, all right. When you gave me the definition of presupposing, did you or did you not presuppose you was talking to a Christian before you argued?
We weren't talking about talking to a Christian. We were talking about debating a Christian. You're changing the subject.
So, all right, if you're debating a Christian, didn't you have to presuppose that you're debating a Christian?
That has nothing to do with it.
Why? Oh, you lost.
You lost. See, and that's a Christian argument right there. Throw up your hands. Tell the opponent they lost without evidence.
Argument. I didn't come up with that argument. So how's that a Christian argument? How was that a Christian argument?
I don't even know what you're referring to at this point. I still did no clue what you're arguing.
I don't know what you're referring to. You just said I made a Christian argument.
You're saying I'm a Christian in denial because I presuppose Christianity.
I just stated a Christian argument.
Tell me once again. Your claim was that the reason I'm a Christian in denial is because I presuppose Christianity. And if I was to presuppose Christianity, that would mean that I accept it as being true. That is a contradiction.
Right. So where are you disproving it?
Thank you for finally admitting it.
No, this is your point. You have to agree that what they're saying is true to them.
No, that's not. No, we're not arguing whether it's true to them. Of course, it's true to them. But just because they feel that it's true doesn't mean it's actually true.
You don't have a world.
Going back, once again, you're changing the subject to something else. You're changing the subject to something else. Just because it's true to them, try to keep up, man. You can do this.
Okay,
you're saying just because it's true to them, that doesn't make it true. Just because they believe something. I could believe that I have $5 million in my bank account. Doesn't mean it's true. You do believe in something called truth and things like that, right? You believe that? You believe
How did you justify that claim that their worldview ain't true?
By showing them, well, one particular argument I have against them is they believe that God, according to their biblical
They believe.
Huh?
You already lost. You had to use they believe. So you're already presupposing what they believe. I'm
not assuming. Oh my, you don't know what presuppose means. That's the problem. This is what I'm talking about with your channel. You're using presuppose in a way that it doesn't mean. I'm sorry, that's not what presuppose means. The context in which you just used it is not what it means presuppose or something. I'm sorry. That's why I can't follow you. It's hard to keep up. You use presuppose in like 5 different contexts. Argument for what? Why the Christian God is incoherent?
And I'm about to pull up presupposing the definition.
Nature is logically contradictory based on the Bible. I don't even need human beings. I can just use the Bible. There you go.
So, what'd you say?
What, you have notes you're fucking reading up and down here?
You had to no, I brought up the definition of presupposing, or process or argument required as a precondition or possibility. So basically,
that's not where are you getting that definition from? What website?
Dictionary.com.
I got it from
Presuppose.
I got a different one. I got tactically assume at the beginning of a line of argument, of course, or action that something is the case. I'm not assuming something is the case. Yeah, great. I'm not assuming that it's the case.
Assuming. You assuming that what you're saying is true.
I'm not. It's based on evidence.
How can you justify that claim? You're not even a Christian to tell them.
I can explain it. I can explain it, but you don't want to shut up for me to be able to explain how I can justify Christianity is. Yes. Like, so according to the Bible. So according to the Bible, it describes God.
Their claim without borrowing for their worldview. Justify your claim without.
You want me to disprove Christianity without bringing up Christianity? That's what you're asking me to do.
What is it?
That's a different topic. Can we stay on topic, please? You want me to disprove Christianity by not bringing up Christianity?
Purpose of being into Christianity. If you're not a Christian,
this is how the Christians, what they do with knowledge. They don't believe you can know your reasoning are valid, and you have to use your brain in order to see if your brain is working. It's the same kind of shit.
Justify from your worldview.
You said I don't have a worldview. You told me I don't have a worldview earlier.
You don't.
How would I do that?
You don't. You haven't stated one.
Why would you ask me a dumb question to do it from my worldview? Now you're just fucking. You're contradicting yourself.
No, my point is what you're doing is dumb entirely. That's my point.
All right, so it's your opinion that it's dumb. So what? What do you want me to do with that?
You can't do nothing with it. You can't refute
I know,
it. You can't do nothing with it.
Opinion. It's just your opinion. And once again, you wanted me to disprove Christianity by not talking about Christianity. You know how asinine that sounds.
You missed the whole point. That's my point of me saying you are a Christian in denial.
A Christian in denial is someone who is a Christian.
Keep going.
But doesn't believe they're a Christian. That's what a Christian. So it'd be somebody who is a
Right.
Christian but doesn't believe they're a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I don't accept Jesus
No,
Christ as
so
my Lord and Savior. So it is
yes,
impossible
you
for me to be
do.
a Christian by definition.
So why are you refuting it? Do you have a better outlook? Do you
Well,
have a better
what does that
worldview?
have
Do
to
you have
do?
a better
We were
perspective than
talking
them?
about why I'm a Christian in denial, and now you're asking me about a better outlook. Please try to
Because
stay on topic.
you're
Please,
talking about
please.
Christianity. Because you have to talk about Christianity
To talk about Christianity.
unless
Yes,
you
no
have
shit.
another.
In order to
Because
disprove
you don't
Christianity, you
have.
have to talk about Christianity. That is, yes, that is the case.
My point is, you don't have a worldview to state any claim that you're right.
And how don't I have a worldview? How does that work? What do you mean
Look
by
up the
worldview?
definition of
What's your
worldview.
definition of worldview? What do you mean by worldview?
Look it up. We're gonna look it up right now. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna go to the regular
This ought to
definition
be
for it.
fun.
See, that's weird that I can go through the definitions better than you can.
I'm just surprised you're talking about my worldview, but you don't even know how to define it. You have to go to a dictionary to look it up. You're saying I don't have one somehow, but you have to go to a dictionary to be able to look up that worldview claim I don't have.
What's your point?
That you're an idiot. That's my point.
You're just stating a bunch of claims, but you haven't refuted anything, so you're the idiot.
Okay,
a worldview is a
evidence that you're
particular
an idiot by this video and people.
a particular philosophy of life or conception of the world. You don't have a particular philosophy or a conception of the world.
It'd be really weird. I don't know how I would survive without having any kind of conception or philosophy about the world. That would, I don't even know what that would look like. So how do I not have that? Can you demonstrate that I don't have that?
Worldview.
Just prove it that I don't have it. Go ahead.
This is a worldview, a particular philosophy of life or conception of the world. That's a worldview.
Yeah, I have a worldview? Conception of the world, and yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a worldview?
Yeah, what you just described, I have a view of the world. Yeah, I have conceptions of the world and a philosophy in life and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying, do you have a worldview?
Yes, the way you defined it there from dictionary.
I didn't say a particular philosophy of life or conception of the world. Do you have?
Yes, I have. I have that. Yes.
Do you have a particular philosophy? What is it?
Yeah, I have a philosophy of helping others and doing what's best for my family, and I have a philosophy of learning and education, and yeah, there's a lot of things I have a philosophy on.
Is that from
philosophy? I'm philosophically agnostic. I'm an anti-moral realist, moral subjectivist.
So
those are all philosophies I have on life.
So is that from a figment of a world, from a figment of your imagination, or is that part of this world?
It's part of this world.
Right.
Well, it's from my mind, because I mean, all these things, my outlook, my worldview would come from my mind, and it's based on the experiences I have in this world. That would be a better explanation. So I do have a worldview now, huh?
But you haven't explained anything. You just saying that you view the world in certain ways. You haven't told me your worldview.
But that's what a philosophy of a worldview is. It's what you just read. It's just how you view the world. What's your philosophy of the world? So I do have a worldview now, correct?
Okay, but it doesn't mean anything because you can't state any claims.
That's your opinion that it doesn't mean anything. That's just simply your opinion. I don't give a shit about your opinion.
How is it my opinion?
Is it based on your opinion? I'm sorry, are you saying it's fact? Can you demonstrate that it's a fact?
That you don't have a world? What is it a fact?
What you just said. You can't even keep up with what you just said?
No, I'm playing along with you. You don't have a worldview, so
I do have a worldview. I didn't say you're not playing along with me because I said I have a worldview. You're the one saying I don't.
You told me you view the world in specific ways. I'm saying that you have a worldview. We need to go back to the definition.
I mean, you have a harder hearing. I mean, what's going on? You're the definition you read. I follow the definition you read. I have a philosophy of life, and I gave you some examples of it.
What? No, you didn't.
I didn't give you. Did I give you an anti-moral realist, a moral subjectivist, that I had a philosophy on treating others really well?
You gave me Listen, you gave me examples, but as far as I know, that's from a figment of imagination out of your own world. That's as far as I know.
I mean, I don't give a shit if that's what. If you don't believe me, I could give a shit, man. I don't give. I'm not here to fucking prove it to you.
Prove to me how your worldview correlates to this reality.
You want me to prove to you that my worldview correlates to reality?
Yeah, to this reality where we're in right now.
And how would one do that?
Astrology.
And how? How through astrology does that work?
You study the celestial bodies.
Okay, I don't understand. Yeah, okay, by studying the stars and the sun and the bodies and stuff, how does that do anything for me?
You would know something.
Well, I know things before I study astrology, so it doesn't matter.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't know anything before you were.
Yeah, I knew I was hungry when I was a baby before I knew astrology. You're saying that a baby doesn't know that they're hungry? Are you honestly saying that? Are you saying a baby doesn't know when they're thirsty? Is that what you're trying to argue?
Who said it's called hunger?
You don't.
A baby don't know that they're hungry. They just know that they need to feed or something like that. They don't know that it's a term.
Okay, perfect. They don't know the term need to feed. You use the word know in that sentence.
All right.
So they know something.
They don't know what hungry being is.
Okay, but you just said they know that they need to feed.
Two different things.
Okay, no, I admit, fine, two different things. I'll give it to you, right? But you just showed me that they know something. And they know that before they know astrology.
Actually, they didn't.
Huh? How does a baby know astrology before they know they need to feed, which is your example?
No, because the parent is on a planet that the baby is feeding from.
I'm sorry, what does the parent being on a planet have to do with the baby knowing that they need to know? They know.
Are we anywhere else?
They know that they need to feed.
Was this baby we're talking about is from a world and a figment of your imagination, or are we talking about this baby being in this world?
You are special, bro. You are really special.
You can't get past it. You can't get past it.
The public school system must have failed you, man.
Past it.
Did you finish high school? Did you at least finish high school, or did you drop out?
All the learning in the world that you have done, it still haven't helped you refute anything I'm saying.
I can do this much longer.
Refute anything I'm saying.
I wish we could just get into your beliefs because it would be so much more interesting than this. But you're so afraid to talk about
laugh and be condescending. What you want to do is laugh and be condescending.
I probably would laugh and be condescending because I mean, what you've given me so far is just nonsense.
You can't even state any claims.
Yeah, so you say.
For something to be nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
For something to be nonsense.
Yeah. Real interesting.
How do you know it's nonsense?
Yeah.
How do you know it's nonsense?
I don't know. Just you tell me more about whatever you believe. At this point, I'm exhausted. I really don't even. I should probably just end this.
Okay. So, all right. Okay, listen. So at this point, I already proved that astrology to state any claim that you're stating because you're not even making sense right now. And on top of that, I proved that you are a Christian in denial because you take the time to study in order to refute it. You're not a Christian, then whatever you're doing is purposeless.
Here's what I'm going to do. I decided to open it up the group. So if anybody wants to come in, you guys are more than welcome to come in. If you maybe somebody else, if you have questions for somebody else, they can do it. I put a link in the outside message board. Drags here. I think I've honestly had enough of.
And then on top of that, how do you know the baby is home? How do you know the baby isn't just doing that subconsciously? It's just hungry subconsciously.
Sure. Give me just one moment. Hey, welcome, Drag. Welcome, Steve.
Oh my God.
This is. I can honestly say this is probably one. I don't know if I'd call it frustrating. I feel like I'm dumber now. After listening to this,
I'm never going to let you forget this, Skylar, ever.
Well,
right?
We had Neffy beforehand that did a number on our brain cells, our collective brain cells, and now I honestly can say I have no idea what the fuck this dude's talking about. Like I genuinely don't.
I'm still recuperating from the Neffy hangout, and I'm drunk off my ass, and maybe it's just me, but I have no idea what the hell this guy's talking about.
So here, let's do this. Here, so Drag. In order to know something, do you need astrology? Do you need to know astrology first?
No. What the fuck does that have to do with my epistemology?
Perfect. Drag, maybe you can explain it to Drag.
Please do.
Please. I'll be quiet for a moment.
What planet or world did your epistemology come from?
The only one that's habitable by humans.
What do astrology mean?
I have no idea in this case. You tell me.
Here's the definition for astrology. You go to dictionary.com. Movements and relating positions of celestial bodies interpret as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world.
Okay. So the planets, whether the elliptical fucking movement of certain celestial bodies, that's somehow correlated with effects negatively or positively upon the people here on this planet.
Astrology. That's the point.
Okay, you didn't understand anything I just said, did you?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so
let me give it a try again.
No, hold on. Well, let me. Okay, so for one thing, if we're going to assume with this, if we're going to assume whatever the fuck you're saying, how do you know that the pathways or the movements of these planets actually have some type of impact on people?
When it's hot outside, it's making me hot. So there you have it.
So the heat outside has something to do with
the sun, right?
Yes, our sun.
Okay, astrology.
Okay, so what about what does that have to do with the pathway of celestial bodies? I'm not seeing a connection. Hello?
What do that have to do with the pathway?
Okay,
talking about what do you mean?
The pathway.
Dragon, I think I've seen the disconnect here, actually.
Okay, please tell me, because I'm
the disconnect. Confused. The disconnect is because he's obviously taking what he's reading very hyper literally, and he's saying that basically because the celestial bodies, such as the sun, influence or have influence upon us because it radiates heat, we get warmth from it. We obviously, without the sun, we would all die. So it definitely influences our existence. He thinks he's trying to apply that's what astrology is, but astrology is actually the predictive modeling based upon the positions of, let me finish, based upon the positions of the planets with respect to the zodiac. That's what astrology is. It's predictions that is being made due to these bodies' positions relative to fixed positions in the sky. That's what astrology means. So if you say that you're hearing astrology, what you're saying is I can make a prediction based upon the positions of these planets with respect to something else and tell you a certain thing about a person. Like, for example, Dragnut, what's your sign?
Oh, Virgo and all that shit. Okay. Wow.
Okay, so you're Virgo. I would be able to say, okay, because Mercury is in retrograde with respect to Taurus on the 3rd house, therefore, as a Virgo, you're expecting to get laid tonight.
Wow. Okay.
That's part of I
did not make that connection. Wow. Really? Like, so you actually take the zodiac shit seriously?
Yeah, he wouldn't talk about it with me in the room earlier. I just want
to
he was too afraid to talk about that stuff.
Wow.
That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is
let's stick to the definition.
Because these things do influence.
Let's stick to the definition.
No, we're going to get the
definition of astrology. Is the study definition. The definition of astrology is the study of movement and of the celestial body interpret as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. Now, regardless of how you feel about it, I think it is.
Okay, so let me ask you, because I've dealt with astrology. I've dealt with this topic before. So let me ask you, which bodies have a direct relationship to us that influence us? And I'll grant you the sun in this regard, if you want to talk about physical relationship, right? There's a physical relationship between us and the sun.
Well, what other bodies? That's not astrology.
No. The way he's using it, man, the way he's using it in a very strange way. But what other bodies affect us?
To say astronomy, we can do the definition of astronomy, but
which planetary bodies give us influence? Which affect our lives? I'm sorry, he cut out.
The
moon?
The sun and the moon, yeah.
The sun and the moon. Okay, what about Jupiter?
And Earth. Earth.
Okay, does Jupiter have any effect on us?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Why doesn't it matter?
It's a celestial body.
Yeah, it's not Jupiter's celestial body. I mean, the Earth is, I hate to break it,
sun is celestial
body. A celestial body is things that are outside of the Earth's atmosphere. That's what a celestial body means, in the celestial sphere. The Earth is not a celestial body, my friend.
Is Earth in space?
But it's not a celestial body. Celestial body means outside the Earth's atmosphere.
He also believes the sun is Earth, by the way. He believes actually the sun is made of Earth materials. Like
the sun is made of, wait, hold on. What? Oh, tell me what the sun is made of, Dolo.
He was describing it as Earth earlier.
Okay, well, I'm asking, what is the sun? How does the sun? Just tell me, what is it?
Yeah, what is the sun?
Because you're saying it has an impact on people. I would kind of like to know what it's comprised of.
For you to even ask me that, you have to presuppose astrology.
I don't presuppose astrology.
Yeah, I reject astrology.
How would I presuppose something? I had to ask you what the definition of it was.
What are we talking about? The sun, right?
Yeah, what's the sun?
We're talking about the sun, right?
Third time, what's the sun? Yes.
Before I even get into what the sun is made out of, the sun is a celestial body.
We agree upon that. Yes, it's a celestial body. Okay, what is it made of?
We don't have to get into my beliefs.
I think I've had enough. I think that's at that point where I'm like, we've been going for an hour and a half. This is the cowardness of it. Let me say this. This is what's so funny. Tell me he isn't he's using the same argument of presuppositional Christian.
No, you're going to get ready
to God with celestial.
You're going to get ready to tell
it's even
me,
worse, right?
Me what a sun really is. But for you to do that, you're presupposing astrology. You're presupposing that we're talking about.
Hold on. Let me ask a question.
Go ahead,
please.
Why do we have to presuppose astrology to determine the nature or the makeup of the sun?
Because that's the definition of astrology.
No, it's not.
They don't even have anything to do with each other, man.
Astrology, the study of movement and relating positions of celestial bodies interpreted as having an influence.
Hold on. What about movement of bodies says what those bodies are composed of?
Take your time answering
We're talking about composition. The composition of the sun.
I didn't hear what you said.
What about the movement tells you about the composition? Nowhere in your definition did it mention the composition of the celestial bodies.
The composition when the sun is up and down?
No, oh my fucking God. Are you really have to right now? I see he's on his phone. Oh, okay. Okay, God. What is the sun comprised of?
Fire.
Oh God.
Like he was talking some mad shit earlier, and I sat and I was listening to my wife and he was laughing hard. But you don't know a basic fucking word like that? You need to be ashamed of your fucking self.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Did you not graduate high school? Like really? Are you really in here laughing at other people and you don't know that fucking 6th grade word? Are you serious right now?
You
not have a composition notebook? Like get the fuck out of here. Really? Like literally, you had the word in front of you for probably 12 years. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Let's be fair. Okay, Drac, come on. Let's dumb it down. Let's dumb it down ground level. The big ball of light.
So now, hold on.
Wait. The big ball of light. Let me ask Pilot.
He had to presuppose we're talking about a celestial body.
Stop using words you don't obviously know.
Let me explain.
We don't have to presuppose. You
don't know what the word presuppose means. You're using it so incorrectly. I can't even begin to tell you.
Motherfucking sun. You just presuppose we were talking about the motherfucking sun.
Okay, that motherfucking sun.
Hold on, Steve. We don't have to presuppose it. We can see it. No presupposition necessary.
If I could actually see something empirically and validate, empirically validated, there's no presupposition there.
I tried to explain this to him earlier. He doesn't understand what a presupposition is.
So what are you looking at then? What is it called?
The sun.
It's called fucking nuclear fusion.
Soul.
What
right,
what do
I
you
win.
think that? Okay, first of all, what do you think that big ball of light is made up of?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it
If
kind of
astrology
does.
means
It's kind of important.
y'all lost
Are you gonna read it?
in language, but y'all really think y'all doing something. Y'all lost in y'all own language, but you really think you're doing something.
this
But
is-
you're
No,
really
actually,
not.
I'm willing
Because
to bet you right now that there's not a single person on this panel that thinks they're doing something.
No, I'm
Yeah.
explaining like basic shit to a grown ass man. It's sad that you've reproduced and you don't know basic shit.
And
I
16,000
don't even-
followers. 16,000 followers. On the
That's
channel.
sad. Well, no, actually, you know what? That's not that surprising. There are a lot of people on this level who really find this kind of shit appealing, but because actual science is hard.
what did you try to explain to me? I don't get it. What are you trying to explain to me?
I'm
Basic
not trying to
astronomy,
explain anything. I'm asking you a simple question. What you think
English
the-
literature, logic. Like, where do you want me to stop?
We could fill an ocean with things we need to explain to you at this point.
Explain to me that we need astrology to explain astrology.
No, I reject. First of all, I reject astrology. Absolutely reject it. I think it's horse shit.
Yeah,
But I don't think
I
you
think
use
you're
that-
running off the special definition of astrology.
Yeah, you're using what's
No,
called
you're not.
a pilot. You're using
Everybody
Pilot.
go to the definition of astrology. Go to the
Pilot, listen
definition
to
of
me.
astrology.
We
Go
don't,
to the
we
definition
don't have to
of
accept that.
astrology.
Yeah, this is the problem when you
So
use.
we're not accepting definitions now?
Listen-
We're not accepting definitions
Pilot.
now?
No, let's take a breath.
Oh, he doesn't know that. Oh God.
What he does.
Wait,
what he-
let's ask him for a second. Does the dictionary tell you the definition of words, or do they tell you the usage, the common usage of words? There we go. That's what I thought.
It's a definition will tell you the common usage, pilot. Okay, but the problem is you're using such a strange stipulative form of it that nobody here is understanding what you mean by astrology because you haven't explained what you mean by astrology. The definition
right.
you're using is so ambiguous, which is a big word meaning.
Well,
doesn't have real meaning, right? It's just vague.
what's strange is the definition that you gave doesn't appear to be the definition you're using.
Yes, that's
true.
the
too.
bigger
How
issue.
does-
Problem.
That's
Exactly.
exactly right.
Good point, man. That is
Why
true.
doesn't it?
That is true.
Because you're just saying basically astrology is just a study of celestial movements of stars,
Which
and
it's
things
not.
like that, which it isn't. Because
Well,
and then
the
you don't
stuff-
want to
no,
then you don't want to get into your actual beliefs about what you really believe about astrology because we would fucking tear that shit
Well,
apart.
let me ask him, Skylar. Pilot, do you believe that you can make
No.
predictions about a person based upon when they're born? The day, if I had the date
Doesn't
somebody was
matter.
born, can I make predictions about?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
That
what
is
I'm
the
talking
crux of astrology, man.
I'm looking at the
It's just a
definition.
question.
I'm looking at the definition right now, and it specifically mentions horoscopy and zodiac. So
Yeah.
his question,
Oh,
his question does matter. I'm
That's
looking
a
at
part
it.
of it.
Oh, wait. So it's
That's
a part
the-
of it now. It's a part. So we're going to ignore parts of it
Right.
because
That's
okay.
like
So
saying,
you go,
that's like
hey,
saying, oh, we're going to be talking about changing lead into gold, but we're not going to call that alchemy.
Yeah. no, we'll just call it something else. So
Yeah, we just call it
What-
something
what-
else. That's only part of alchemy.
Yeah.
like this is
What point
sad.
did you prove it? What point
I'm
did you prove
Surprised
it?
this guy doesn't have an extra
Well,
channel.
I think I think the point that we've been kind of hammering home is that you're not making a whole lot of sense.
I'm
No,
surprised.
you're not making sense.
Well, it's obviously we're not making sense. Well, some of us graduated high school. So.
How does this guy only have 16,000 subs? This guy is gold. I
Well,
mean,
because
gold
there's a market. There is, believe it or not, there is a strong market of people who go for this pseudoscientific woo-woo bullshit. They don't have a really good education, so they fall for things that sound cool. They fall for things that are intuitive.
Even simpler, drag. People
All
love a train
science
wreck.
is pseudo. All science is
That's true.
pseudo.
G-Man's
All
got
science is
us.
pseudo.
You can't spell pseudo. Stop it.
All science is pseudo.
Spell pseudo.
Okay, let me ask
pseudo.
let
Okay.
me ask you a question. Earlier, you brought up that you can't know anything unless you know astrology. Is that correct?
No, I said you can't state any claims without presupposing astrology.
Well, that changed because you did say no earlier. I sat and listened to you.
Yeah, it
Well,
appears
same
to you.
thing. Go ahead,
You want
argue.
to change it?
Wait, state and
we had
no
a
are
whole
two different
argument
things.
about knowing things. I mean, I literally argued with you about my child knowing things earlier, and now you.
I sat and listened to the shit
Yeah.
with my wife. Like now
Well, no,
he's
it-
changing.
No, if he wants to change it, I'm willing to let that go.
Yeah,
So
let
let
me.
me. Are you treating that? Are you? Hold on. Hold on. Are you treating that as
My
a
thing is,
necessary?
I don't have to believe none of your statement. How can you justify that claim of any kid knowing anything? without.
Well, so far I haven't made any claims yet. I'm just trying to
No,
clarify
I'm
the
talking about
position.
Skylar.
So
I'm talking
then I
about
can ask
Skylar.
a question.
I'm talking about Skylar.
Let Van
Skylar said
Van
he
will
proved-
answer. We'll ask a question. Go ahead, Van.
So earlier you
said
said that. Now,
proved-
are you familiar with the term of properly basic beliefs?
Okay.
So bringing up these words.
Well,
All these words, but all these
Yeah,
words.
man, don't be using big
Why
words.
are you speaking words?
Properly,
you said
You
something
what I got to
earlier.
say.
You said
properly.
something earlier about epistemology, so I'm assuming that you're somewhat philosophically.
You
I'm
think he
assuming
knows
you're
what
somewhat
epistemology
philosophically
means?
knowledgeable.
Check
Am I
this
mistaken?
out. Check this out. Once again, you have to presuppose astrology to state any claim. Now, what is astrology?
That's your
Astrology is
assertion.
the study of the study of movement and relating positions of celestial bodies interpreted as having
That's
an
called a
influence on human
horoscope.
affairs and the natural world.
Having effects on our personal life.
Right.
Bullshit.
Right. That's not saying what you think it's saying.
Yeah, the problem is it's not exactly. It's not saying what you're thinking that's saying. You're reading it completely
No,
out of
you're
context.
taking it wrong.
I'm looking
It
at
ain't
the
my fault that
definition
you
right now, and it does say horoscopy and zodiac. They're specific
Yes.
as synonyms.
You know, okay, well, let me ask
okay, we can do that too, though. We can do that too.
Pilot.
We can do
We do
that
that
Pilot.
too. That's
You know
part
what
of it.
Let
God
me
damn it,
try to see if
pilot.
I can work my way through the questions I had.
We can do that too,
So
but you
I got
still
a
haven't refuted. But you still have to
Hear what
presuppose.
Van had to say real quick, and then we'll go to Steve afterwards. Van,
Okay.
Yeah.
I brought that up for a reason. I mean, the reason I asked about that was you said you couldn't state any claim unless you know astrology. Now that isn't that's different than what you said earlier. You did say you couldn't know anything
No,
unless you knew
presuppose.
astrology. Unless you presuppose astrology. And that's why I asked you if
Or
you'd ever
to
heard of the
make
term
any claim,
properly
yeah.
basic beliefs.
But
And I'm
that
asking
term
this.
doesn't matter unless it's relating to the planet we're on.
How about you let him finish what he's saying before you try and just blurt out random shit that has nothing to do with what he's talking about?
That doesn't seem to yeah. Properly basic beliefs are the beliefs that you have to have in order to know anything.
So you have to believe that it's a sun in the sky, and you have to believe that you're on a planet in order for you to correlate anything that you claim.
No, that doesn't appear to be true because, as was pointed out to you earlier, and as you agreed, there are people who don't know that they're on a planet and don't know that there's a sun in the sky who can know things.
What do they know?
They know that they need to
they're hungry.
feed. That was your example. They know that they need to feed. Was the example you gave?
So the issue here, it doesn't matter. So here's
I just want to fucking strangle the
just,
motherfucker.
well,
And even more,
let's
we can go even
let's-
further than that. Helen Keller was deaf and blind. She did not see a sun in the sky. She didn't know she was on a planet,
Oh,
but she was able to know things.
So, but even before then, how about we kind of start with like foundationalism? Okay, let's. I think if we
I tried
slowly,
going there.
Well,
yeah,
I'm a
it seems.
foundationalist. I think Van's a foundationalist,
Are you
but
telling
So-
me Helen Keller didn't know she was on this planet or in this world?
You could
Not for a
describe
long
you
time.
could describe what a planet is to a blind person, but if they can't see, it's hard for them to conceptualize it. So there's other things that they have to rely on before they get to that point. But even so, are you understand?
Walk on the earth every day.
Okay, so the ground. You're referring to ground when you're talking about the Earth as a celestial body. The context changes. I'm not sure if you understand that. So here's the thing: do you?
My context change.
Okay, hold on for a second. Hold on, just calm down. Do you personally believe that your memory is reliable?
Reliable.
Yes. Can you rely on your own memory?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because if we're talking about
He's building to
epistemology,
it.
I'm trying to get there.
You can't even claim your epistemology or none of that without agreeing to the terms and conditions
Okay,
that you're on the planet.
One of us in this conversation, between the two of us, can spell epistemology and the other can't. So let's just
yeah,
let's hold on for a
can
second.
I ask him what does he think
The issue-
epistemology means? 'Cause
Actually, yeah, that's a good question. What is epistemology?
The
Hold on.
way that we do.
What is epistemology?
I'm not
What the fuck your name
y'all
is?
games.
Pilot.
Even if I knew, listen, it doesn't matter if I know what epistemology is or not.
It kind of
You
is if
use
you're
the
telling
word,
me
you might
what it
use-
is.
Yeah, you kind of should know what it means.
You
if didn't
still have to
use it.
you still have to presuppose that it's
No,
pertaining to
the
this
fuck
planet that
you
we're
don't.
on.
That's what we're talking about, you dumbass.
All right,
What
so-
the?
so-
Oh
so-
my god. Okay,
Pilot,
listen,
wait.
Hold on.
Pilot. Pilot, you don't. So you do not have a clue what epistemology means.
It don't come from the world I'm in.
Okay, well, how are you using it? I don't. I just trying to get your context here because we all here know what epistemology means. I don't think you're using that the way that all of us are using it. So how are
I'm
you
not even
using
using
it?
that word.
You said
Well,
I'm
you
not
just
even
used it
using
earlier.
that word.
you've
You
used the word
absolutely
once.
did use it earlier.
Yeah.
Before
What?
I joined the Hangout, when it was just you and Skylar, you did use that word. Yes.
You did.
Yes, you
that.
did.
Yeah, you did. I'm not
I don't
lying to you.
remember.
Man, that was quick.
I
So
don't remember.
here.
Hey,
Okay, so
you know, I
there's
told you he has antiquated amnesia. He can't.
So-
he cannot form memories.
here's the
I don't
thing. There are
remember using
people.
that.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever, you used it anyway. There are people who study the mind. Do you know that? There are people who actually go out there and they study it physically and they study how it works.
And what planet or world was they on when they did that?
The same one you are.
Well, no, I don't think so, Greg.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yes.
Greg.
Yeah, I don't know about
Jesus
that.
That's a good point.
It's
Christ.
There are
unnecessary
people.
to presuppose
So
that.
okay.
That's
So
not
hold
what
on for a second.
presupposition is.
Do philosophers
So,
exist in
so
any
if-
capacity?
So,
About to call
so,
Teflon.
so they had to presuppose whatever they was talking about
don't know.
works on this planet.
I don't know that. Do answer this question. Do philosophers exist?
I don't know.
Take your time. You don't know if philosophers exist.
Okay, I got a little more important question. Pilot, what planet do you think you're on?
I'm
Come
on
on, Tachyon 5.
Bingo.
I mean, do you think that you're on Earth? The rest of us? I mean, I'm serious.
Well, I'm on Earth. I'm waiting for y'all to tell me where y'all at. Actually,
I'm gonna go with Earth, but you know, I could be wrong. Maybe at this point.
The fact you have to ask makes me worried about you.
Please don't tell me you're on psych,
To
man.
answer that question, I will tell you. Hold on. To answer that question, hold on. To answer that question, I will tell you. I conclude that I am on Earth.
Yeah, I would say it's a conclusion. I know that I'm on Earth. I'll make it a knowledge claim. I'm happy.
It's a precept.
It's not.
I don't
No,
think
it's a conclusion.
If you make a conclusion and you say you know something, that's not a precept. You can't have a precept if you know something.
You don't
Not
assume you're on Earth.
presupposing
You come to that by knowledge. That's what I was trying to explain to you earlier. Like you don't presuppose. You don't assume that you're on Earth from the beginning, right? So basically, what happens at some point, you're probably taught it by your parents, or you taught it by school, and different things like that. And then, of course, there's testing and things like that. That's not a presupposition.
It don't matter if you know you on a planet, or if you know you in hell, or you know you in somewhere in space. It don't matter where you think you know you at, but in imagination of your world, wherever your imagination thinks you at. What I'm saying is this planet right here. And if you want to pertain anything to this planet,
wait. So I'm not on Earth.
We all on Earth. And we all on Earth. I'm saying for you to state anything that you're stating, but you have to agree that we're on this Earth.
So when did anyone disagree with you that we're on Earth? When did?
And I disagree with that statement. We don't have to agree we're on Earth.
We don't have to
agree with that.
I do, but we don't have to agree on that.
So where are you at? If you
There's no logical need to agree we're on Earth.
Right. We don't have to agree upon that. I happen to, and I'm sure Van does as well, but there's no logical need to.
How can you justify that claim that we're not on Earth?
I didn't
That's
make
not what he said.
Why would you justify a claim that no one has made?
Yeah.
He just said that I don't agree
didn't
with
make that claim.
everybody being on Earth.
No, that's not what he said.
No,
I
didn't
don't
say that.
have to agree.
I'm drunk and I'm at least paying attention.
It's
He
not a
said
stipulation
he
to
doesn't
have
have
this
to agree.
conversation.
It's not a logical necessity.
When you go and you talk to someone on the street,
I don't know what you're saying.
when you go and talk to somebody on the street, do you ensure that they think that they're on the planet Earth every time you talk to somebody?
I don't, but I'd be happy to tell them that they're on the planet Earth.
He does. You know he does. Come on, Drag.
You have to.
Disagree with that, though.
Is it a requirement for anybody?
That we on this planet? Yeah.
So you have to verbalize that?
Since you're both having communication, the chances are pretty good you're on the same
You
planet.
don't have to verbalize it. All you have to do is presuppose.
Okay, so after they've learned what a planet is and that they're on it, then you can go about your fucking business.
No, see,
But
not
that's
now.
Actually, I just thought of something. I
Now
think
you went
is
somewhere
pretty good. So when you
went
say
somewhere else.
hold on, when you say that you presuppose that you're here on Earth, presuppositions can't be proven. That means that you can't prove that you're on Earth. You can't validate your claim.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Are you surprised, man?
I can't prove I'm on Earth.
That
That
he
doesn't
can't
make
prove
any
he's on
sense.
Well, I can't prove I'm on Earth either, but I don't have it as a presupposition. But I can't prove that. No,
I
Wait,
can
so
prove
you
I'm on
can't
Earth.
prove
I
you're
can
on
prove
Earth.
I
I'm on
cannot
Earth.
prove that I'm on Earth. Correct.
World,
I'm
did you
curious
get
how
that
you're
from?
going there, Steve.
Because science doesn't make proofs. Science doesn't have anything to do with proof. I cannot
Validate.
I can validate, sure. Oh, I can confirm.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm loose language. Sorry.
Okay, well,
I can confirm.
I know what you mean
However,
by this stuff,
by
man, but
the
you're not an
language
idiot.
you're using,
but for
you
him,
cannot confirm that you're on Earth because you've presupposed it. Presuppositions
I'm
can't
not using
be
no.
confirmed.
correct. Right.
I'm using the definition.
But you don't understand what
That's
Van's
what
saying. He's telling you is that if you're making a presupposition, presuppositions by definitions are axiomatic, meaning they're taking as assumptions. You cannot confirm them. You cannot prove them. You cannot confirm them. You cannot take it for anything beyond
either.
that, which is basically what's called an axiomatic assumption.
Okay, you can't either. But here's the thing. In my
agree.
world,
No, that's not true.
I can get a little further than you can.
I doubt that.
No.
I seriously did.
If you presuppose something, you cannot confirm it.
Right.
I don't presuppose it. I conclude it. And I concluded that by confirming it.
Do you understand the difference that he's making there with having a conclusion and a presupposition, Pilot?
Do you understand my argument?
Answering a question with a question is the best way to go about doing that. So I'll ask it again. Do you understand what he just said with the distinction between a conclusion and a presupposition? If you don't, just say you don't, and he'll
I'm
explain
happy
it.
to explain things to you, Pilot. We're not. Honestly, I'm not even big into this dogpile stuff. I want people to understand these things. I know Van does. I know Drag does. Skylar doesn't.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's an ass.
No.
He just wants the views. So
I'm telling you, no. I don't.
Okay, so you don't understand. Okay, so we need to outline conclusion.
Is he breaking up for everyone else?
Yeah, he's breaking up real bad.
He needs to turn off his camera. We know what he looks like, but it's killing his bandwidth.
Yeah, you may want to turn your camera off, man. You'll probably have better reception.
How you do it? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah, just turn your bandwidth down.
Just presuppose it's already down and it'll magically happen. Because that's how shit works in life.
You got to presuppose astrology before you turn that camera off.
Yeah, this is. You know what? This is one of the uniquest arguments I've ever heard. So I do want to like.
It is literally the same thing as the Christian presuppositional argument. They just replace God with astrology. It's like,
except that I don't think he's understanding what astrology is.
Oh no, he doesn't
I was
understand
ask about the
it.
zodiac, but I don't know if he even. Pilot, do you know what the zodiac is? I'm just curious. Ever heard of the zodiac?
I'm trying to turn off his camera. Let him do that.
Oh yeah.
Are you on your phone?
Multitasking for slow people is difficult.
No, he has his phone in his hand. Look at the top. There's some bars up there, like
there
like
we
on
go.
your phone. Okay.
There we go. All right. So have you ever heard the term zodiac, Pilot?
The will of the animals.
The will. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I actually didn't understand what you said.
That's called a fragment sentence. In complete sentences, they have a subject and a predicate.
Yeah. What do you mean by the will of the animals?
It's about the 12 constellations.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So the 12 constellations that the sun appears to go through as its annual journey, right? I mean, with respect to the fixed stars,
Sun, right?
Yeah.
No, concluding the sun.
Right. So,
No, concluding the sun.
You're presupposing.
No,
conclude same thing.
No, they are not.
Same thing.
Yeah, we conclude the
They
sun
are not the same thing.
So you said they're the same thing.
They are
Pilot?
not the same thing.
Well, hold on for a second. You said they're the same thing, right, Pilot?
He did, yeah.
Okay, man.
Okay, so in the dictionary, so are you on dictionary.com? What site are you on?
Dictionary.com.
Okay, so when I look in synonyms, I should see also conclusion, right?
You said conclude. Well, whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Conclude. So if I don't see it on there, then you're not telling the truth, correct?
If you don't see what on there?
If I don't see conclusion.
Or conclude.
You just said you made a conclusion. I said you made a precept.
And I said I did not make a precept. I concluded they are not the same thing.
And then you said that yes, they are the same thing.
And I just want to throw this out there. By the way, I'm an Aquarian, so all Aquarians don't believe in this stuff anyways. So just want to throw that out there.
So as somebody who's memorized the dictionary and also has dictionary.com on his phone, it is not a synonym.
Bring something
Conclude is
to
not
an
on
end.
there. Conclude is not on there either as a synonym.
And by the
Neither.
way, most dictionaries that have synonyms, they're not even remotely used interchangeably. Just because something is a synonym doesn't mean that it's used
So
interchangeably. It's not.
conclusion means nothing because you have nothing to back and support it.
Okay, so
Well, yes,
there's
it
a
is.
difference. There we go. So now we're going to segue into how conclusions are formed versus presuppositions.
All right.
A presupposition is something that's assumed to be true before you can start reasoning about anything else.
Okay.
A conclusion is after you've reasoned, you come to a conclusion. They're opposite ends of the spectrum.
And after you concluded that we're on a planet,
Right?
So
did you come to a conclusion that we was on a
You gotta turn
planet,
your
right?
camera off, man. You're still breaking up.
We do conclude we're on a planet, yes.
Hold on.
You're
You're back.
What about now?
Okay,
off?
you're off again.
All right. All right. So what did you say? Somebody said something.
Okay, so they're opposite ends of the spectrum. Presupposition is at one end where you start from. Conclusion is where you end at.
All right. What's your point?
After making observations and looking at evidence.
when you
Well,
said that they were the
My point
same,
was that they're not the same.
yeah, exactly. We should explain the difference between the two. Every time you say that something is somebody's presupposition, you're mistaking it for the conclusion that someone has obtained at some point.
Okay. So how does
I have
how does
very,
that,
very few presuppositions.
I have a handful of presuppositions,
And most of us in here who do have presuppositions is based on our epistemology.
which is mine is foundationalism.
Mine is foundherentism, excuse me.
Foundherentism is where I'm leaning towards as well.
I'm
And what-
largely going to foundherentism. Unfortunately, I still have not found a very well written
It's
argument for it.
rough.
And what
It's
what world do these titles exist in?
It's not a
Hang on
worldview.
one sec. We're talking. The big boys are talking for a second. I want to know more about this.
I'm
Van,
saying
what
what world on earth is these
One
pertaining
sec. I'm just kind of curious, Van. What has leaned you toward foundherentism, if I can ask? I think the only advantage to it is that it does seem to get rid of some of the problems with circularity. And some other things with like coherentism.
I actually don't think that foundationalism has a problem with circularity because you start
No, it
from
has a
there,
problem
you
with
don't
axiomatic.
justify them. They're axiomatic, so you don't justify them.
But
but
coherentism does though.
Coherentism, actually, no, it's an interconnectedness.
Right, but that leads to circularity, and I think so I think foundherentism
definitional issue.
eliminates some of those problems, but I'm leaning that way, and that's why I wanted to ask.
That's where I'm at right now as
okay.
well, is leaning that way. I haven't fully jumped, but
All right,
I'm really intrigued by it too.
Well, the issue is
adults were talking for a second. Go ahead,
yeah,
Pilot.
well, Sokka Count's going to probably come in here because his fucking
Coherentism.
his coherentism sense is tingling. But anyway, so this
Say coherentism 3 times in
yeah,
soccer.
I almost stumbled over it. So the issue here is that what we're talking about, our epistemologies, make up part of our worldviews because that's how we know things. But that's only a fraction of our the overall worldview. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's
The reason I asked you earlier. I asked you about properly basic beliefs earlier, which are actually a big portion of worldviews.
Yeah,
For
and see, the
example,
problem is
there are the things, and you can't know your properly basic beliefs. You have to presuppose them.
yeah.
For
you can't-
example,
yeah, exactly.
you have to
Properly
presuppose
basic
that you have a valid memory, a reliable memory, not valid, but reliable memory. That you have reliable senses. That deduction is reliable. That induction is reliable. You have to presuppose that there are other people out there.
But the thing with the worldview is that a lot of people want to make worldview into one issue of things. Now, yes, there are some positions that people call worldviews. Naturalism is a worldview. But to me, when I'm talking about my worldview, I could throw out 30 different things that all make up my worldview. Right? So it's not just one position. It is an overall theory of your world.
Isn't epistemology a theory?
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't epistemology a theory?
No, epistemology,
Epistemology
is the study of knowledge.
It's study of knowledge. It's study of knowledge.
Epistemology,
It's
the
a study
theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's rooted in science. It's rooted in science.
Philosophy. Philosophy.
Philosophy of mind.
Yeah.
Science and philosophy has to presuppose astrology to even state any claim.
No, they
Really?
don't.
No.
Really? So
No,
what?
No, I
so
read astrology, so I don't have to presuppose any of it.
where did you read
Which
that
one?
at? I'm curious.
Yeah,
Where did you read that?
I'd like to know where did you find out that you have to presuppose
what
astrology
Okay,
in order
what
to do
world
any
did your-
science?
What world did your epistemology come from? What world on earth did your epistemology come from?
Well,
guys, I can't. No, it's done.
He learned a new word, and then he somehow put it.
You broke him.
He
broke
put
Skylar.
it back into his fucking script. Like he
We're
has
gonna-
no. Go ahead.
Skylar, hell, no.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I will mute you, Skylar. I will mute you.
We can actually continue this talk offline.
Like if somebody wants to do an after hangout, Flight Boss, I'm sure they would be happy to have you.
No,
Come on there.
I can't.
I don't think y'all understand the argument, so I'm pretty much
Clearly not. Clearly, we're
well-
not knowledgeable about these topics.
Dude, you start with astrology.
Y'all bringing in a bunch of meaningless topics.
Yeah.
No, they're actually important topics.
Meaningless topic.
Literally,
Like astrology.
he fucking literally refers to epistemology the entire fucking time. Has no idea what it is. Can barely fucking pronounce it. But we're bringing in shit. Like, like the balls on this guy. Like, come on.
Let me say this, Flight Boss. I'm glad that you came in today.
What is your purpose of bringing in epistemology?
That's what you're talking about the entire time.
Well, actually, you're the one who brought in epistemology.
Yes,
This entire hangout is about epistemology.
So this is your argument? If I said epistemology or not?
No, we haven't actually had a chance to bring forth our argument yet. We've been trying to decide on terms.
You don't have an argument.
Most of this hangout has been teaching you like basic shit. Like that's why we haven't been able to make any progress.
That's what it's been about. Getting lost in words.
Well, words are how we communicate.
Hey, Flight Boss. I need you to take a flight. Get the fuck out of here. I can't do it. It's fucking over.
Skylar, we're never gonna let you live.
Oh god.
I think it broke me. I honestly don't. I don't even think I did well doing that conversation because I didn't know where to fucking go.
My wife
Skylar,
was yelling at you.
I want you to think about this, Skylar. You went through Dustin Seegers. You've been through Beckel. You've been through T-Man. And the one who broke you was this guy.
Skylar.
I didn't even know what to say half the time. Like I had nowhere to go.
Fuckery that you just don't even know where to go with.
We should make sure I hope he becomes a member of the great debate community.
Not now. You're scared of him.
He'll be the dumb fuck of the year at this rate.
He could win. He could fucking win. Like him and Tommy could be neck and neck.
We need to get. Well, first of all, if you're out there, fuck Tommy Hall. Don't vote for him. Vote Rodney Mulroney. Let's get that out in the open.
Skylar,
don't let the establishment win. There are people in the establishment that want him to win, right? But we all know who really truly deserves to win this. It's Rodney Mulroney.
Tommy Hall.
I am a man.
Listen, go vote for him. If you voted for Tommy Hall, hey, go vote for Rodney Mulroney too. You can vote twice. It don't make a difference.
You can.
But within the rules.
By the way, I'd like to make the announcement. Skylar has actually accepted my challenge to debate him on Emperor's Atheist channel on who's a better candidate for Dumb Fuck of the Year. And I know he's going to run scared. He's going to go, I changed my mind because I'm a scaredy cat and I don't want to debate Steve. But, I'm going to hold him to the fire. He needs to make some pretty good arguments why his boy Rodney is Dumb Fuck of the Year. So
he's moving up. I did want to say that he's moving up in the charts since I made my promotional video for him. I think he's in 5th or 6th place now. He wasn't like 9th.
He's in 7th.
Oh, he's close though. We're I think 2 votes away from beating Darwin's DD.
Do you know what the funniest thing about this Dumb Fuck of the Year is that C. Brown has like 11 votes. I am dying laughing. That's how so little people care about voting for C. Brown. It's like
anyway.
I've never even heard of Anthony Riley before.
Oh, I know who Anthony is.
Yeah, I haven't heard him either. I was like, he's gonna win.
He believes like weird shit, like the moon goes on the other side of the sun during
and it actually disappears. Like it does not just from sight. Like it actually like disappears into the aether or something.
Yeah. Pac-Man.
Let's close this thing down.
But before we do that, I need to make a soft announcement. So
please go ahead.
Did you see True Empiricism's channel?
No,
before you went live?
I watched 30 seconds of it. I
haven't actually watched it. I'm not even gonna lie. I heard from somebody what happened, but I'm gonna go watch it later. And so G-Man's been wanting us to debate for I don't know years now, and so G-Man has set up a debate. there were quite a few stipulations in order for him to agree to this. One of them, the most interesting one, is that I can't say anything about true empiricism's character from now until the day of the debate, which is about a month from now.
Oh my God, it's gonna be hard.
That's hard.
Wow.
So I can't.
There goes all your hangouts.
You sold out.
So I can't talk about his appearance. I can't talk about where he lives. I can't talk about the car he drives, the clothes he wears,
or the cuisine he eats.
So how are you going to have fun?
So I
Yeah,
cannot.
so basically, we're not going to hear from you in a month, Drag?
You know what? I will attack his arguments. That's fine. So mind you, that's a stipulation. Now, with that in mind, go watch his video.
He talks shit about you, doesn't he?
Just go watch his video.
Right,
that's all I'm going to tell people. Go watch the video.
What is the debate about again? And by the way, I think I am going
God.
to start a hangout on the Great Debate community because this is too golden. I want to know
Go
more.
invite dumbass to him. Please teach him like basic English.
I'm not going to invite Skylar.
Get the fuck out of here.
So the debate is on. Oh God. Okay. So what better comports to reality? Abiogenesis and evolution, or intelligent design?
Oh fuck my life. So basically, a rehash of my debate with him.
Yeah, with abiogenesis attached to it.
And by the way, do you know
We'll
you
see if he actually plays the whole time
Go
this
ahead
time.
Go ahead and bring Steve's PowerPoints. You'll win.
Yeah, Skylar. By the way, do you know you broke triple digits this hangout?
I did. I was fucking amazed.
You're welcome.
I've done that. Getting up to 100.
Yeah, you're getting popular.
I'm taking credit for all that.
Usually I don't get the amount of live views. Mostly it's like 40 or 50 at the best. But hey, man.
Especially this time of night. That's odd because you don't have the European crowd.
No, man. But to the audience, just to let everybody know, you got lots of awesome people actually in this room. I think, Van, you're the only one that doesn't have a YouTube channel, I think.
Well, I do. I just don't have anything on it.
Well, no, Van stuff can't be put on YouTube, all on FetLife.
Yeah, his stuff's strictly on Pornhub.
That's where you gotta look. It's where the best material is.
All right.
Anyways, a couple things, audience. Let me close this out. Let me say a couple things. So first of all, audience, thank you for coming out. If you guys are new to the channel and you watch it, thank you for watching. It was a different kind of conversation that doesn't happen on my channel. I'm not saying that I don't have idiots on my channel. That happens all the time. But what I'm saying is the kind of dialogue is usually at least a little bit more interesting. But if you like this kind of stuff, well, not like this kind of stuff, but if you like to hear theology debates, science debates, things like that, there's Steve McRae actually runs a thing on Google Plus called the Great Debate Community. That's where you want to join. That way you know about the newest videos, you know about the newest arguments, you get to know some of the people in the community. Obviously, Drag's got a channel, Steve's got a channel. I can never. How do you say your name? I'll be Jack. I don't want to.
No, it's actually Olsbajak, and a couple people have said definitely not it.
Olsbajak has a gaming channel. I believe you do a lot of racing games and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you're into racing, go check him out. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Please go watch my conversation from who the fuck did I have a conversation with last night? Who's the Christian? I can't even remember. My brain's fried after having that conversation.
Who?
From Bible Thumping Wingnut.
Dustin Seegers.
Dustin Seegers, thank you. He did originally agree to have a conversation with me in February, and he backed out of that within a couple hours and deleted the comment on the Bible Thumping Wingnut page.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he saw my video and he got really mad.
He was a coward. I'm sorry. He was a straight up coward, dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he ran. Yeah, it was awful.
He ran.
I mean, that's kind of what you can expect from the Bible Thumping Wingnut Network. Like none of them actually want to engage with people. That's why they branched off and did their own thing.
As a funny part of that is Dustin has usually been the one who's been known as the most engaging, and he just tucked tail and ran.
Oh, it was bad. It was like I was polite, it was friendly, very thoughtful, and yeah, he couldn't even tell me personally. Couldn't even be like, well, this is going in circles, so let's talk about this another time. Like he literally had to say, hey Tim, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. And then Tim hit me from broadcast.
You got ticklish balls, Timmy.
Yeah. Anyways, there's lots. I've made this is like the third video today, I think. So, anyways, go on my channel, check it out, subscribe, like, whatever. Fuck. Other than that, guys, until next time, subscribe and make the world a better place.
Head to Steve's.